The 11th edition Ork Codex has started to leak right now live. So honestly, we're going to have a first take hot reaction. I'm going to go into this. You guys are going to see how I take it. Of course, live chat's going to be here too. I did plan this video to talk about how Games Workshop had been previewing Orks, giving us impressions how they wanted to rework how the 11th edition approach worked as a whole and what this implied to other armies. The fact that already out there's hearing some rumors of people possibly wanting Orks banned, or people just upset about the fact that Orks might be deemed as too powerful and be to the point that they're disruptive, where we might be being back into this cycle of consuming each other with nerfs that we asked for and then are upset about later in the future. So today, as though we are very excited to look at these new data sheets and explore what the Orks are actually going to be like with their new detachments. And this is going to be live. If I miss anything, make sure you guys actually go back and hit me up. So first, I'm going to start off with some data sheets just so that we actually get an idea of what the detachments want. Because some of these things also change. Actually, maybe I'm going to start with the detachments. I think I'm going to start with the detachments. How about that? I just changed my mind midstream. So remember, this isn't all lined up. This has been leaked all over the Reddit, for example. I'm going to try to make it easier for you guys to read, but in reality, I know you guys aren't going to be able to from your YouTube point of view. So you can either look on you can look on Reddit somewhere where they have them, or you can look on our Discord for the link to look at them. So you can follow along with this, or you can clear anything up if I can't read it myself. We're going to start off with detachments. Oh, it looks like I'm already here. So we're going to start off with detachments, and then we're going to move along to the data sheets. Now, before I go into the data sheets or all of this, there is the fact that we did lose Ludas, we lost Burners, we lost the Wurboy. And then did we lose something else? Let me know, chat, if I lost something else. But then we also did gain a gun wagon, which we're going to look at today. And so yeah, there's a lot of different stuff going on right now, but there is rumors that we're gonna get Ludus back later in the edition, some sort of kill team and such. So don't just start throwing them away. And if you got burners, you can incorporate them into your knob units or into your boy units. So with that being said, let's start looking at these detachments. Then we'll look at the data sheets. Of course, this is live. So if anybody's here, what's up? Make sure I don't miss anything, or thank you for assisting and clearing stuff up. Let me make myself even smaller. Let's see if we can make this as big as possible. We're going to start with the hunt. So the hunt is on. Now, I will say, as far as we can see, every detachment is 1 DP other than Warhorde. So we're going to look at that. So we have the big hunt. The hunt is on, meaning friendly snagger units that target a monster vehicle have +1 AP. So automatic, no picking a target and hoping that we actually get into only one thing. We can just straight up crump all of the things. Oh, another thing, sorry. Just remember, thanks guys. The buggies, some of them, a lot of them were consolidated into just war buggy data sheet, and then some of the buggies retained their own. So that's another thing that we missed. But going back to the detachments, this is great for obviously for beast snagger units, squigs, snagger boys, all that stuff. You're gonna get +1 wound AP. So let's keep going. We got Glory Hog. Glory Hog did change. Beast snagger model only when this unit is selected to make a fallback. That fallback does not prevent it from declaring a charge. So we got fallback and charge as an enhancement. Used to be as a strat, that was awesome, but now as an enhancement, still somewhat appealing. Can be used on either unit of type of snaggers. Then we go to Beast Boss on Squigosaur model. This model is +1 toughness. I'll tell you right now, from what I remember when I was peeking at this, it's T9, so that would break it to T10. And it does seem like all of the Squig mounted characters are not leaders anymore. They are independent, kind of like Demon Prince type of characters. So we'll keep talking, and we'll make sure we'll double check on that as we look through this. Then we go to the 1 CP detachment. Where do you think you're going? When your opponent's movement phase, the enemy unit has made a fallback. The Beast Snagger unit can cause them to take hazard rolls. And then if the enemy unit is battle shocked, you take even more. So I'm taking coughs, guys. So yeah. So yeah, there we go. So 1 CP when people fall back from you. Let's see if there's something else here. That unit must make a desperate escape. There we go. So then that means they'd be taking the hazard rolls. That's what it is. So And if any enemy falls back from you, automatically take a desperate escape. And then if they have failed a battle shock, then they take them on the battle shock desperate escape, which is even worse. So 1, 2, and 3s. So you can make people just take mortal wounds from falling back from you. Sometimes that's good situationally for finishing something off that you didn't kill. But in theory, you're fighting vehicles and monsters with these type of units, so that's what you're hunting. And those hazard rolls would actually hurt more in theory, a bit more in vehicles, I guess. And then we got another 1 CP stratagem. Goaded into action. When your opponent's shooting phase, when enemy unit is shot, one friendly unengaged beast snag unit that has lost wounds to those attack, that unit can make a surge move up to D6. If that unit is riled up, you can re-roll that D6. I'll tell you right now, guys, as I was talking about in my last live streams, the main strength coming from Orks is the continuously being riled up. We're playing a mini game of being riled up within 40k right now as Orks, right? It's how many ways can we access it and then utilize it to inflict our will. We may not do the same kind of damage, though we do damage, yet we have to really be riled up to access multi-phase damage and the mobility to get there. So the game does revolve around this. So you're going to see there's in a lot of these buffs, strats, enhancements, stuff like that tell you, well, there's a second trait that makes this better if you're riled up. But I'm going to tell you right now, when we look at these data sheets, there's going to be a lot of ways to get riled up. A lot. Excuse my cough. Goodness. So that's a surge. Pretty cool. And you get to re-roll it. So that can work on squigs or on squig boys. Instinctive Hunters, 1 CP, end of the fight, opponent's fight phase. One friendly snagger unit that is within 6 of the battlefield edge, you can place it in reserve. Now, the fact that it's in the edge of the battlefield, right? Because it does say within 6 of the battlefield edge makes it more niche. You have to really preemptively think about it. There are cases where our secondaries do call for you to be within some of these edges of the battlefield. So try to find a way to get there, but maybe that might be cool. I think that one's a little bit too niche. Then we move on to Madcap Meks. This one's a little confusing, but so far people are calling this quite insane detachment. So if I miss anything on this live chat, get back to me and make sure I make this clear for anybody else that's here. Okay, so as we go, detachment rules, unpredictable genius. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Big Mek / Mech Guns / Morkanaut / Waz Boom Jet unit ranged attacks target a single enemy unit, roll 1d6. So when you shoot them, then you roll 1d6 and you target this. On a 1, the target unit has 4 invuln until your unit has shot. On a 2 to 3, select one other unit within 3 of the target. That unit suffers D3. On a 4, Seekers, those attacks have +1 hit roll. On a 5, the target unit has fly and cannot have the benefit of cover until your unit has shot. So it'll have fly for a moment. So you're activating a keyword on it, right? And then it doesn't have cover. So automatically, it's literally getting lifted up. And then when you're done shooting, that gets put away. All right, cool. And then on a 6, the target has +1 toughness until your unit has shot. Okay, so little odd here. It's on a 1, you give them an invuln, so that freaking sucks. But a lot of stuff really has an invuln, so you're not really that worried about it, I guess, in some matchups like demons. Then on a 6, you give them another toughness, which is another one that's not great, right? If you're shooting something that's D12 and you give it T13, that would actually suck. But it's for that shooting for that unit, I guess. Now the other ones are kind of strong, but this is quite wild and reckless. This looks like the somewhat new version of Dread Mob in that case. Maybe an additional to Dread Mob, right? Because you could put one and put this one in there. We do see the Titanic Walker being in this one, unlike Dread Mob that we've seen earlier, which was only not excluding Titanics. But hey, then we go into the stratagem right here. It looks like just one stratagem that we can see right now. Vindictive Artillerists, specific to mech guns. That mech gun unit, when it shoots, the range attacks have lethal, or they have sustain 1, or you can let them have hazardous. Then that unit has sustain and lethal. Oh, it says -1 toughness. Thank you, chat. See, chat got me, hooked me up. I was like, that'd be stupid. Runtified. Oh, that makes more sense. It's runtified. So you're making something weaker. Sorry, guys. Thank you. See, the blur's getting me. So you're making something lower in toughness. All right, that's pretty sweet. So on a 6, when you target something with the Big Mac, Morkanot, Gorgonot, sorry, anybody who's listening, I went back to the detachment rule because I had misread it and live chat corrected me. On a 6, when you roll it, that unit's -1 toughness when shot. Thank you, chat. So if it's 12, it goes to 11. That's awesome. You can make some amazing breakpoints there for, especially for those data sheets. A lot of our guns, like we know, our rockets went up +1 strength, so there'll be tons. Thank you for that live chat. Then let me finish this stratagem, though. Like I said, you get lethal, or you get sustain, or you can let yourself have hazardous on the mech guns, and you get sustain and lethal. I think that's vital to actually make mech guns somewhat viable and scary. And then you go into the enhancements, Mech Wall, Master Model, Big Mac model only. This unit is riled up. So this unit is just always riled up, which you know what that means. He's getting additional buffs for being riled up and whatever he's attached to. Because at least the Big Mac model, from what I know, the keyword from what I remember, he still is a leader. So what he's going to get going to, he's still going to be able to give it. He's going to most likely give it riled up too, because his unit. Then we have Temporal Shock. This is an upgrade. Big Mac with shock attack gun model. In your shooting phase, when this model selected to shoot, you can roll a d6. On a 1, your shock attack gun has torrent. Right? You're just straight up hitting everything. But then after you're done shooting, this model's destroyed. It's kind of sweet. On a 2 to 5, this model shock attack gun has +1 attack. Then on 6, big old lucky 6, you get sustain 2 on your Big Mac with shock attack gun. Mind you, I do know his shock attack gun profile did change. The strength did go up. So we'll talk about how that's when you look at that. Pretty sick, and you can duplicate it. Then we go to another enhancement. Enhanced runt mall. Big shock attack gun. When this unit is shot, select one enemy unit that was hit. That unit is infested with snotlings, just like the lore. Until the start of your next turn, while the enemy unit is infested with snotlings, that unit has -1 to his leadership rolls. So not a huge one, but we do like at least a option of interacting with and harassing leadership capabilities. So that one's pretty sick to see. These look really good, for pretty fun for the most part. Some of them are absolutely strong as heck, like this unpredictable genius. From what I understand, let's see, it's in your shooting phase. When all of the friendly, so that unit, range attack target, so you have to focus fire that thing, targets a single enemy unit. Okay, so pretty much it's debuffing the enemy or sometimes giving a form pinball. But in theory, you're putting some kind of debuff on the enemy whenever you focus fire it with any one of those keyword targets. So when you have this attached selected as your detachment and you have any of those keyworded units on your list, you can almost think of it as just a constantly passive buff that's always happening when you're shooting, as long as you're targeting one unit. So that's kind of easy to remember as well. But the hard part is the actual table. Yeah, if you love this detachment, you're going to make sure you use that table. I know this is ugly, guys. Bear with me. I'm making sure I read it, though, so you guys can track and follow along. So real quick, I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep showing it. Don't worry. I just want to move through the pages without flickering for everybody watching. It's so hideous. So now I'm moving to another detachment here. And shout out to the live chat and everybody giving 10 WAAAGH gifted memberships. Thank you very much. It's very generous. I was going to do this bit for the members, but I was like, wait a second, let's be sick for everybody. So thank you for helping the members. Be plenty of members content, trust me. So then we go to the brute bosses. So then we have the brute bosses being shown. This has been shown in the past, but just to remind everybody, since we're doing a full consolidation of what's being shown and fully revealed. This is the brute boss. This is another 1DP one. Detachment rules: art is nails. When a friendly war boss is destroyed, and it hasn't been selected to fight, you roll d6 on a +1 if it's riled up. On a 3+, the unit gets to fight on death essentially. So if he's riled up, then it'd be on a 2+. For the enhancements, we have Shirley as a squig off, infantry war boss model once per battle. Per army. At the end of the phase in which this model is destroyed, roll a d6. On a 2+, he gets back up unengaged and has 3 wounds remaining. I actually kind of like that. We don't have anything like that. It's pretty cool to set up kind of engagements where you have to force the enemy to kill him, otherwise that dude's gonna come back and be able to fight you on their go turn. So I find it to be pretty cool. I wouldn't like break my back to get it on the list, but I would definitely be happy to put it on the list, especially for playing this theme where this detachment is supposed to be like a good polishing off of your list and kind of well-rounded adaptive one. So it's pretty sweet. Brutal but Cunning, War Boss model only. This model's melee attacks have +1 damage. I assume that's a D. So +1 damage. So that means that can make your War Boss go crazy. Because we know, but we can see the new War Boss Power Claw data sheet, by the way, which looks fantastic. And we know the new War Boss data sheet looks pretty great also. But when we look at it plus, and you consider this detachment enhancement, if that's +1 damage, which I think it is, that's going to be tremendous on a War Boss. And it says War Boss, so I'm just assuming the typical War Boss, what I'm thinking right now. Then we go to the Blitz-a-Boss, War Boss model only, a transport unit, excluding walker unit. This unit's embarked, has +2 move, +5 invulnerable. So this is going to just mostly apply to the transports. Like, obviously, that's what it freaking says. Sorry. That are on wheels. Just think like that. Mind you, I looked at the Walker Titanic abilities. I'll tell you right now, that's exciting too. Way more incentive to actually put units in walkers also. Then we move to Proper Killy. So War Boss model only. This model can reroll hit rolls of 1 if it's cheap. You know, at least it helps your War Boss in the efficiency. One thing we typically lack as orcs is we never ever get rerolls. So I'm happy to see some rerolls. Then we got Morgrog's Thinking Cap. War Boss models once per battle at the end of your opponent's movement phase. If this unit is unengaged, this unit can make a normal move up to D6. If it's riled up, you can re-roll the 6. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty awesome. I like that. Now that's a pretty cunning thinking cap. All right, I like that. That's just fun to see inside of your army as an orc. So if the movie he doesn't engage with you, and if you consider it like surges, so this is for a War Boss model only. I mean, if he's in a unit, that counts for his unit. So if there's ways, and if I right now it's not a full, I'm sitting here and thinking of all the combos. So if you think of them while we're going, let me know and we'll address them too. It'd be sweet. But obviously, if you can kind of set a surge going on where you could just be like, well, I'm gonna normal move D6 and it really messes up the enemy. And lines of fire, charges, all types of things. Heroics, that's a big deal, but it's only once per battle, but it could be on a big important time to go. Then we got the the Gobshot Thunderbus. War Boss model only. This model has the following weapon: Thunderbus. As lethals against non-vehicles, as rapid fire. It looks like 4 or 5. It might be more than that. I can't tell. 24, 6 shots, hitting on 4s, it looks like. Strength 7, -2, 2 damage. So you can make a normal War Boss really good at shooting. So if you're someone that's pretty crazy that wants to put like a shoot a boy kind of detachment on and stack it with this, another detachment, and you have a really good shooting War Boss, and you can increase his range and detectability and shoot with your unit and get some shots off, that might be cool. But yeah, that's the Root Boss. I think that's awesome for a 1DP one. Pretty fun to see. Then we move on to the Wurrband. Now, keep in mind, the Wurboy does not exist anymore. Now, to just so you know, I did check. The kill rig still has psychic, so he does apply to psychic level 1, just so you know. So I did preemptively check. Don't worry about it. I guys know. Shout out to live chat as well. I'm trying to go with this, make sure it's not 25-hour long video. So if I'm going fast, want me to repeat anything or be clear anything up, let me know. But I want to get through it. All right, we got detachment rules. Power of the wall for the Wurrband. Friendly orc psychers. Psychic attacks have +1 strength. +1 strength for every 5 models in this unit or embarked in this model. So that counts for the kill rig, of course. That's pretty sweet. Friendly, so that also applies to the weird boy himself. So that's for his attacks. Then we go friendly orc psyker models have the following psychic abilities: Roar of Mork, psychic level 1. In your movement phase, if this unit is not battle shocked, you can make a psychic roll. If this unit by rolling a d6. If you do, on a 1, this unit is battle shocked. If not, select 1 enemy unit, excluding a monster vehicle within 12. That unit makes a battle shock within sorry. with -1 from that battle shock roll for every 10 models in this unit. So pretty much, if you're the Psychers there, he takes a battle shock test roll, and he can make your enemy take a battle shock test, right? So he has to roll. Sorry, not he didn't take a battle shock test roll. Sorry, he takes a psychic roll. Sorry, guys, it's been a while since there was a psychic phase. He takes a psychic roll, and if he rolls a 1, he is battle shocked and his unit. But if he does not roll that 1, then instead he forces the enemy within 12 of him, excluding a vehicle or monster, to make a battle shock at -1. And it's for -1 for every 10. So if it's a 20-man unit of Boyz, obviously that's -2. Another thing I noticed here is it doesn't have to be seen. So if for some reason you're not in actually visible, you can still make him do this. Helps to kind of offset their other attacks or interactions that you're not really involved in yet, right? Like if you're hiding or something. Then we got the other one for psychic abilities, which is Visions of Violence. Psychic level 1 at the start of the fight phase. If this unit is not battle shocked, you can make a psychic roll for this unit by rolling 1d6. If you do so, on a 1, this unit's battle shocked. Otherwise, this unit fights first. So, just so you know, when we look at other psychic buffs, that's pretty much all work like this. Interesting, instead of them making you actually take mortals and pass away, which is kind of frustrating for some people, this might be encouraging for anybody who plays psychic armies as a whole, that if this applies generally to everybody, well, at least you'll be battle shocked and your unit just won't be just straight up die and kill itself, right? Or your demon prince won't kill himself or something like that. But in this case, our kill rigs, for example, or something won't kill itself. It'll just be battle shocked. But then if it's battle shocked, the man can't do any more psychic abilities or tests as well. So it's quite punishing, and being able to remove battle shock is going to be important for psychic units. So if you have some kind of unit that can remove battle shock near a psychic unit, that'll help it for its reliability throughout the game. Then we have enhancements. The Crunch. Psychic models only. This unit has the following weapons. The Crunch. So it looks like Blast 3, hazardous, lethals, and then it's a psychic. So you can just make one psyker go absolutely mad, which I'm here for it. We got Headbanger as another enhancement. Psychic model only. This unit has the following weapon. Headbanger. Oh, sorry. It has hazardous, precision, psychic. It's 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 6, it looks like, -2, and then that looks like 3 damage. But then, of course, that could probably go with these other psychic abilities. So remember, they're stacking with that, because then you're getting +1 strength onto whatever this shows here, or additional strength, like 2 strength for every guys, or maybe even +4 strength. Then we go to Warped, which is the final enhancement down here. Ork Psyker, model only. Again, maybe that's Weird Boy. Has Psyker level 2. Has Deadly Demise 6. Can re-roll psychic rolls. So out of all these enhancements, Warped probably is the most appealing. I don't, maybe it's the chat could clear it up, or maybe we'll get more detail later. I do not see a buff to or point to what psychic level 2 does, but I'm sure we'll figure it out here in some time to come. But that's pretty sweet to see. If you guys are excited, let me know. Oh, sorry guys, I'm supposed to put this here. Again, let me remove this real quick while I shuffle to the next detachment page. I don't want you guys to see me shuffle on everything. We did Mad Mac Captain, we did Brute Boss, we did all those. Okay, we did Wurrband. Let's see what we have here. It looks like there's Wreckas. I think we have War Boss, or War Horde Detachment we can show. Level 2 means you can cast 2 spells. Okay, sweet. I think that's what that means, at least. From chat, live chat said it. I'm not verifying it. Where's the going into this? I'm taking your word for it. More people are saying it, so sweet. So you can make him a level 2. That's lore accurate as hell as well. A Warped is a better psyker. Then we move to the Wreckas Detachment. This does seem like it's 1 DP as well. What I will say is this one seems strong. A lot of people are really encouraged by how powerful this one is, and also worried about it. There's a little bit of already people wondering if this will end up being 2 DP. Let me hold on, guys. I'm trying to make myself smaller, as small as possible, so you guys can see. So hopefully some of you guys can see. If not, I'm reading every word that matters. All right. Shout out to the live chat. Thank you guys. Thank you to all live memberships and everybody. I will get to the members chats. Everything you guys do, I will be interacting with it. After detachments, I'll take a break and look at the live chat. So make sure if you got something to say it now. We can have polls going as well for some of these units and attachments, and I'll look at those as well. Now we have the Wreckas, which is looking like people's favorite detachment or one of them so far. Is detachment rule, wrecking and looting in your shooting phase. So this is shooting phase specific. This right here. When a friendly breaker boys, sorry, oh my goodness, that cough came out of nowhere. When a friendly breaker boys, flash get, tank buster unit is selected to shoot. If any of the following applies, that unit can re-roll the hit rolls of 1. So unit is within range of an objective. The target of that attack was in range of the objective. So if you're standing on it or your opponent standing on it, you re-roll 1s. This one seems just very easily accessed for flash hits and tank busters. As for the breaker boys, a little odd, like when you shoot the rocket pistols at him, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Because it does seem very hyper specific for range attacks. Because even the second bulletin point says within range of an, oh no, it says range of objective. But ultimately it says unit selected to shoot. Well, maybe it's any of its attacks. So a combined arms effort, I'll assume. I'm going to assume it applies to both because it simply says that unit's attacks can re-roll the hit rolls of 1. So it doesn't say only its range attacks can, but this happens in the shooting phase. So it gives incentive. No, it's selected in the shooting phase. Yeah, this is just shooting phase. Never mind. I was trying to read too much into it, hoping that it was for melee. Just for shooting. So I guess it's weird for Baker Boys. Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't. It's in your shooting phase right there. The first line I just made sure when I jumped to in your shooting phase when a friendly breaker boy. Yeah, I was just too hopeful on breaker boys. Oh well, we'll look at that breaker boy data sheet though. Then we go into enhancements. Oh, by the way, I still think that's good. I mean, that's easily good for tank buses and for flash kits. Easy to get for us. Easy onto our targets, or easy for us to stand on them. So it is conditional, but we even looters were hyper hyper used and relied on. It was because they always hit on 6s, but you're gonna see we have ways to still hit. Ballistic skills got improved. All these different buffs happen. So being able to reroll 1s will matter. So pretty sweet for just a little passive detachment buff. Then we go into enhancements. Captain's hat. Big Mech / War Boss infantry model only. When both players have deployed their armies, you can redeploy up to 3 friendly orc infantry units. When doing so, you can set those into strategic reserves, regardless how many units you already have there. So it's just strategic reserve. Now, one thing I was going to say here too is we do know that, or we infer that the Big Mech is in Docker Rig is now a character, and we're going to look at that as well. And here, this one looks specific. So whenever I'm looking at the Big Mech keyword, I'm going to assume that it could possibly apply to the Docker rig. When I get to the Docker rig, we'll clear that up, I guess. All of us together. Then we go to enhancements. Super Snaz Docker upgrade. Flash kit units only. This unit snaz gun weapons have rapid fire 1. Now those data sheets did change, and I will say volume was one of the things I noticed that went away. So this enhancement, in my opinion, is going to be quite popular to go alongside this enhancement, right? It was already quite popular to put rapid fire on the flash kits, so now it's going to be even more because we want the volume, because the other stuff is still pretty awesome from its shooting and its profiles. Hint, hint. Then we go to the stratagems for Wreckas. We got drive by busting. Yeah. When your shooting phase, friendly orc unit transport is selected to shoot. Oh, okay. When a friendly orc transport unit, when a friendly orc transport unit is selected. Okay, does that your unit's range attacks with this weapon are selected for the firing deck ability at +1 to hit rolls? All right, so your firing deck can get benefit of +1 to hit. So that means when these guys are actually within your battle wagon, for example, or maybe the gun wagons, we'll see if that actually has firing deck. You can give it +1 to hit, so it can act as a all around tank. Now that would be kind of cool if it works on the gun wagon. So keep this one in mind. You get when we get to the gun wagon, because if gun wagon has a firing deck and you can use the gun wagon's profiles and this strat, that would be quite appealing. If it's just for the battle wagon, okay, at least we know. Then we have the second stratagem, grab it, 1 CP. When your shooting phase, friendly orc unit unengaged, breaker boy, flash kit, tank buster, unit has shot. That breaker boy unit effect. Your unit can make a normal move up to 6 and must end that move within range of an objective. Stipulation 2. Your unit is not eligible to declare a charge at the end of the turn. Ooh, so it's like a fire and fade, but it forces you to actually move on to an objective. So that's pretty awesome as well. We know that the actual objectives are the terrain pieces themselves. And we ourselves already are going to possibly be re-rolling, standing on them to get to re-rolls. So there's a chance that you can just stand on it to shoot, then move 6 to jump behind the wall, still be touching the objective, but then you're visually not able to be seen literally. And then if the enemy cuts a line to you, you'll still be standing on the objective, so you can still get covered. So grab it seems pretty awesome as well, and very likely to be used often. Then we go to gun crazy show offs. Your opponent's shooting phase. When an enemy unit has shot, one friendly flash kit / tank buster unit hit by those attacks. Your unit shooting using normal shooting, but while doing so, you can only target the enemy unit. So when the enemy unit shoots you, your unit could do a normal shooting back to them, is what it seems. Yeah. Your unit shoots using normal shooting, but while doing so, you can only target that unit. So for 1 CP, and if you're normal shooting, now mind you, your chances are you are hitting on, 6s or 5s, but I'll tell you right now, flash kits and tank busters have straight up ballistic 4 now. So that means they'll be doing this back in a 5 plus. So pretty much it means shoot back on a 5 plus when people shoot at you. That could be pretty sick and mess up with people's order of operations, because they could be like, oh, I have to put my big priority shooting unit into that enemy unit first immediately, because if I try to chip it down, it might activate and just annihilate one of my smaller skirmishing units. So then I might overkill something, and then that also messes up with enemies' other shooting priorities and lifelines and fire. So I think this is also a pretty solid strat. So these two are two of the more appealing strats, and so far not too many super appealing strats in all the detachments that you're looking to use like every turn or every other turn. These are pretty fire. So Wreckas is looking like a pretty strong detachment indeed. Now let me see if there's other there we go. The other detachments is all we're gonna move to, and this one's gonna. These are a little blurry, but I'm gonna still try to look at them nicely. You guys bear with me. So we have Green Tide, and then we'll look at the Bully Boy. So these are also 1 DP. A lot of questions about the 1 DP. What was gonna happen to Green Tide? So let's find out. We're OP. No, I'm joking. So detachment rules: mob-handed brutality. Friendly boy units melee attacks have sustained 1. So we already have lethal on the charge on boys. Now we're gonna have lethal and sauce pretty much on demand. If you pick Green Tide. Oof. Oh. Okay, we're gonna keep going. If a friendly orc infantry unit made a charge move this turn, that unit melee attacks have lethal. So it just says orc infantry. It doesn't say boys, mind you. So boys already have lethal. This is saying just straight up lethals on the unit. This is another one that I can see becoming 2 DP suddenly if it's not already for sure 2 DP. We presume and we think it's 1 DP. It could end up being 2 because that seems freaking strong. At least for like a supplement or 2 DP one. Maybe it is a 1 DP one. We'll see. Then we go to enhancements. So we have orc infantry model. This model's melee attacks at least 1 attack, or if this unit has 11 plus models, it's plus 2 attacks. So it makes your war balls or anybody like that even stronger. 2 attacks doesn't seem that much. If it's cheap enough, you'd still want to do it because your war bosses are already going to have a bunch of attacks. So giving it even more bunches is crazy. And then if it's attached to one of these units, that means it's going to have access to, like a Boyz unit, for example. Then it could be your war boss going to have access to sustain and lethal. So you can have a Boyz unit that's strength 5, access to sustain and lethal with the war boss, and he can be riled up and he can run at you and beat the crap out of you. That's messed up. That's crazy. And that's probably, we'll see how many points that is. Then we go to Ard Boys. Oops, sorry. Ard Boys upgrade. Boys unit only. This unit has a 4-up save. Yeah, that's a fun upgrade if it's cheap enough. People have models that they want to do that with. They maybe made Kit Bash to look that way. I think that's pretty sweet for just flavor accessibility. Competitively, probably not, but overall, I mean, you never know if the meta just is losing that or you're locally it is. Who knows? But pretty fun little enhancement. Then we go to Unbridled Carnage. So this is 1 CP. Fight phase. When a friendly Boyz unit has made a charge move this turn and is selected to fight, that Boyz unit, this unit's melee attacks have +1 attacks. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for you guys. Now, it's not sustain 5 plus and all that craziness, which was amazing, and I'm gonna miss it. But we literally have sustain 5 plus on demand right now. Lethal sustain 5 plus on demand on the charge right now. So I'm trying not to be too greedy. But what I will say is I was very much hoping somewhere to find somewhere to get a +1 attack to my Boyz. Now, I would like if it was maybe an enhancement or sorry, an upgrade, something that I can pay for in duplication, but maybe that'd just be too strong. I don't know. But right now, I like to know that I can still at least get my Boyz up to 4 attacks right off the rip, without looking at what other buffs I'm able to give them. Not the most powerful, but it is a cool one for 1 CP. I just wanted to at least get +1 attacks back. But if they're gonna have built-in uh uh +1 if they're gonna have built-in sustain a lethal and then get sustain from this detachment in charge, you're gonna be crazy. And then if you have the war boss, and then the war boss, let's just say right now, we'll just put him at 10 attacks. Oops, sorry, I don't want you guys to see everything in the world. So let's say the war boss has 10 attacks right now, and then he has the other enhancement you've seen +2 for leading a unit. So then he has 12. Then you give him this, then he gets up to 13. And then let's say he has cleave 2, then he gets another 2. Then he uses that Warboss could have 15 attacks with disdain and then lethal from leading a unit of Boyz. Right? I just did it off the top of my head without even looking at the Warboss data sheet. Maybe I'm off by a couple attacks. When we get to the Warboss data sheet, we can do the math to be more accurate. But I'm going off right now. Like, let's just say they have 8, 9 attacks that a Warboss does right now. Then he still gets up to like 12 to 14 attacks under the right conditions. Pretty crazy. And then he's going to have sustain and lethal. If he's eating those Boyz in this detachment. Then we have Mob Mentality 1 CP. Start of your Battle Shock step, your command phase. 1 friendly orc unit with 13 plus models. Select 1 visible friendly orc unit with 12. That unit's Battle Shock rolls are automatically successful. So I like thematically, that's freaking awesome because orcs should operate in this kind of way. Now, the interesting part is you have to have a unit that's actually at its almost full health capacity to pick a unit to do it to, and then it has to also see it. The boards are kind of open, so I mean it's kind of easy to be able to see another mob, but if the mob diminish, it might be a little bit harder. Nonetheless, situationally, this is great. You'll love it. You'll be able to put on important models, and then important models that are shocked will have access to other abilities. So not being battle shocked is very important, very strong, and I really want to see it for certain matchups. Like if I went into Tyranids, for example, where I want to try to clear battle shock in some way, this would be a cool way to try to get that off. Then we get here we go. Here we go. Your movement is 1 CP. Your movement phase when a friendly beast snagga / Boyz unit is selected to move. That snagga boy or boy unit has +2 to its advanced rolls. So this could be if someone did want to be silly and not silly. Sorry, I don't want to make you guys feel silly. If someone wanted to use shooter boys, or, and mix it with the shooter boy detachment, and then they get faster and they shoot people in close distance, maybe cool. And all this is pretty obvious though. +2, so you can get closer distance, get more assured fights in. Like we talked about, if you have a war boss leading one of these Boyz units, then he's also kind of fast and he's gonna have access to being riled up. I'll just let you know that. So Green Tide might not be as OP and powerful it has been in the past, but for a 1 CP, 1 DP, I would definitely think this is quite strong. I don't think it needs to be do DP, right? But I'm automatically gonna always at least play devil's advocate or try to understand my opponent's mentality when my opponents are upset. And some of them might think this is quite strong for a 1 DP detachment. I think let's just run with it and see how it goes. I do have thoughts I do want to close with for 40K people, but we'll keep it positive right now and keep it pushing on these detachments. Let's move over to the Bullet Boys, which is another one people are quite excited about, but this one did drastically change as well. Yeah, don't be worried about it because we're riled up quite quite consistently all over the game. So here we go for the Bully Boys. So we have Bully Boys displays of savagery for Mega Knobs and Knob melee attack. So at least Mega Knobs and Knobs always are going to have access to sustain. Now, if you're used to playing Warhorde, you like your sustains, but you want to play multiple DP detachments, hey, you could play Bully Boys, you could play Boyz, and you already have access to sustains in both of those units. Sorry, both of those detachments. And then if we look at this, the green tide, it says friendly. So that means the Mega Knobs and the Knobs are also going to have access to lethal hits against non-monster vehicles. If you mix these two, right? So that means your Mega Knobs will get the second part of green tide when they make a charge. So your Mega Knobs and Knobs will have sustain and lethal on the charge as well. So your boys got it from one way, and now your Mega Knobs are going to have it one way if they don't already have it. Wow. For that's the detachment rules. Then we go to the enhancements. We got wimp kickers. What the That's awesome. I didn't even read that beforehand, guys. This is the first go. I just reading it. It's called enhancements called that. So upgrade. Knobs unit only. When an enemy unit engaged with this unit is selected to make a fallback, that unit must select desperate escape mode. If this unit is riled up, it has a -1 to hazardous for the desperate escape. That's gonna definitely brutalize some units that want to fall back and be taking this. I like to see it because right now falling back is not really that damaging or detrimental. Wouldn't automatically force this on my units, but these are knobs and such are glass cannons, the kind of multi type of units. If they don't automatically destroy the unit when they make contact with it, these fallback shenanigans might be a good way to finish it off. But nonetheless, not like a auto take or anything. Teleporter boss, mega armor model only. This unit, excluding vehicle unit, has deep strike. So, excluding vehicle units. Can a mega armor war boss be attached to a vehicle unit or something? Why is it putting that exemption? Keep that in mind. I don't know that. I'm not being facetious here. I really don't know. All right, but for deep strike, yes, I definitely wanted some deep strike. Now the table is small, we're riled up fast, but you still want some deep strike. Keep the enemy honest. If the other armies get strong later in the game, you still want some capability to drop some entrances in, set up some heroic intervention capabilities, and stuff like that. So pretty sweet nonetheless, pretty nice. Then we have the stratagems. Too arrogant to die. For 1 CP. Fighting phase. When an orc unit targets a friendly. Oh, sorry. When an enemy unit targets a friendly Mega Knob or Knob unit, that Knobs unit, when destroyed and hasn't fought, you roll D6 with the +1 if it's riled up. On the floor plus, it gets to fight on death. So if the unit's riled up, which a lot of the time these units are going to be riled up, you're going to be fighting on death. Now, I will say, obviously, Bully Boys changed that you're not just innately calling a wall and then calling a wall again. I do think that would have been over the top, even though it'd been easy and fun and crazy, which is why all last edition I told you guys enjoy it from when we had it because it was a crazy thing that we could do. But the amount of ways when we look at this data sheets that you're going to be able to be riled up, it will hardly matter. Trust me. So you'll likely be able to do it on a 3+, but not always. Just saying. Still strong though. Then we go to arm to the teeth. Your shooting phase or fight phase when a friendly Mega Knob or Knob unit is selected to attack. That unit can reroll hit rolls of 1. If it's riled up, it can reroll the whole hit roll. That's freaking awesome. Now, it's pretty sweet if you're really, really focused on knobs and mega knobs because, like, for one, knobs aren't even that bad at like shooting anymore. I was saying before they can have all rockets and still have all their power claws, for example. So you can decide I'm going to run and shoot rockets at something, then run and reroll the whole hit roll. Then I'm going to run in and punch it and do the reroll the entire hit roll. So that one turn when your knobs are coming out to fight and they are just straight up possibly dying immediately after, you can hyper offensively generate. I don't want to say like hyper upgrade them, right? Because you can focus them with static abilities from, let's say, just green tide, just because it's right here already. When it makes a charge, he would get lethal. When he's in this detachment, he's going to get sustained. when he uses this stratagem in the fight phase, he's going to reroll the entire hit rolls. He's going to have that right off the rip. So that's pretty sweet to see on top of already their data sheet buffs that we've already looked at in the past. So I'm really happy to see they can reroll entire hit rolls. Keep in mind, like, for example, the Mega Knobs, we're going to look at their data sheet, but we already know Crump in Time is +1 to hit. The power claws are hitting on 3s now. So during Riled Up, you would assume Mega Knobs are already hitting on 2s. So you would re-roll the entire hit rolls to re-roll one, that re-roll hit roll. So it'd be your ones. If the enemy was -1 to hit, it'd help offset that. So you could still re-roll. Or if you were near gas, you'd still be hitting really well. So in some conditions, it might not be a big deal, but it is pretty awesome that you can use it and to be that accurate with your punches, because we lost volumes of punches. So the more reliable we can land hits, the better. Hulking Brutes, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase, when if enemy unit targets Mega Knobs or Knobs, that unit, the effect, range attacks that target your unit with strength greater than your toughness have -1 to wound. So what used to be the Mega Knobs' actual datasheet ability when a war boss was leading them is now just a strat for 1 CP. Or ranged attacks that target your unit have -1 to the wound roll. That's if you pay an additional CP. Pretty crazy to see that there's a different condition to that strat, not something you see on any of these, right? So for anyone who's playing other armies, talking to your fellow 40K players, keep in mind when they play their factions and get their books, their strats might be like this Hulking Brute ones, where if you look at it, where it says +1, that means you could pay 2 CP to make it even better. So that means ranged attacks can be -1 to the wound rolls as a whole. So what I mean by that is the first effect has the stipulation that the enemy is greater than your attacks. But if you pay 2 CP, you can just innately make anything -1 to wound that targets you. So if a bolter shoots at you, then it's wounding you on 6s instead of 5s, right? But if you only use 1 CP, then it's only wounding you on 5s. Still. So pretty awesome to see. I think that's a good, well-rounded 1 DP detachment for the new edition. It seems built for it. Well-rounded. We don't know the dispositions, but I do like to see Bully Boys that have that. Still obvious, very focused, like all of these are, on very specific data sheets. So pretty exciting. Now let me look. There's the War Horde one somewhere around here, and then if I'm missing any of the other detachments, let me know, guys, that I didn't look over. I know there was like the ones we've already seen, but I don't think because we don't have everything. Like we don't have the Blitz Brigade one, for example, that I've been able to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat right now, because I'm going through. And a lot of people are pretty excited. Oh, here we go. We got Cult Speed. Okay, so mind you, I'm still going. Don't worry, guys. I still got them. The reason I pulled myself out of that little thing is because I don't want you guys watching me click around looking for stuff. But here it is. Boom. Cult of Speed. Flyboyz and Cult of Speed. Goodness, this video is gonna be like 2 hours long. See what you guys did to me? You better leave a like or something, dude, because this is actually a lot of work. Oh, I'm excited though. I mean, what? We first ones breaking it here. What's up, all specs tactics? You ain't got nothing on the Great Wall. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. All right, so Cult of Speed. Adrenaline junkies. Pretty obvious here. Friendly warbiker units have battle line. When a friendly speed freak unit is selected to make an advance or fallback, that unit's range attacks have assault until the end of the phase. That does not prevent that unit from being eligible to declare a charge. That is freaking sick. I was actually kind of worried that we were going to lose the assault and the advance and charge. Because it was later added to our book. It wasn't what our book started with, like Cult of Speed. So I'm very excited that we obtained that. Very, very, very excited about that. So sweet. We don't need to be riled up. I know riled up's easy to get, but it's good to know that I don't need it for everything, especially because and it doesn't have fallback and shoot though. Yes, Chast. Yes, doesn't have fallback and shoot. I hardly ever did that, but it did matter. It doesn't matter because they're shooting to get a little. It's still decent right now for Cult of Speed units. But I'm glad we didn't lose our advance and charge. But we have a lot of ways to get riled up. We can at least fall back and advance and shoot, but we could already do that innately in this, which is good for like the buggies, the tracks, the stuff like that, which we're gonna look at. Then we go into the enhancements. So we have Smoky Gubbins, speed freak units only, excluding aircraft units. When an attack targets a unit that is not fully visible to the attacking model because of a model in this unit, the target has the benefit of cover against that attack. So that's a pretty sweet enhancement because your speed freak unit can actually act as a get in the way to give cover to other units. From how, if I'm understanding this correctly, so that's kind of nice. So it's like giving smoke without having to spend the CP for it. Competitive streak. Death Killer War Trike model only. This unit can re-roll charge rolls. Yeah. I like that for the bikers. I don't think bikers got mobile or anything. So, but if they did, sweet. I don't think they did, but I'm just saying, but re-roll charges is always good. I don't need to make. We obviously re-roll advances already because of that's our army ability then. Now we're going to re-roll charges. So that's just innately awesome. But does the Death Killer War Trike auto 6 anymore? That's the question. Then we go into the stratagems. This is delicious eating squigs for 1 CP. Your movement phase. One friendly orc truck squig buggy unit. Select any number of friendly orc infantry within 3 of this unit. Each unit heals 3 wounds. So I'm hoping when it says heal 3 wounds, as I understand it, it counts like for Necrons, where if a Boyz unit heals 3 wounds, I bring back 3 Boyz. That's what I'm assuming how it works. Okay, so I think that's freaking fun. Now I don't know if that's gonna be awesome, universal, and happen all the time, but you can bring back a knob, you can bring back Boyz, you can bring back whatever, a flash kit, stuff like that. Not super strong unless you're within multiple units though for 1 CP, but situationally it could be cool. Then we have Daka Storm. Your shooting phase, when a friendly speed freak unit is selected to shoot, that speed freak unit, your units have sustain 1. So that's going to be good for bikers, katas, buggies, and war buggies. What I will say is, because we're already like 50 minutes into this video, buggies, as they did change, it looks like you can bring multiple buggies in 1 unit. So a little bit more appeal to using this stratagem as well. Speediest freaks, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase. When a friendly unit targets a speed freaks unit, that speed freak unit ranged attacks that target your units fail on an unmodified hit roll of a 1 or a 3. I think that's amazing. That's super strong. I absolutely love that. The enemy automatically fails hit rolls of 1, 2, and 3. So it can't hit you on that. Of course, if enemy can reroll entire hit rolls, that's going to be a big deal. But for the survivability of stuff like Big Bricks of Death Kaftas, for example, Big Bricks of Bikers, that might be actually pretty sick. Now we don't have, it doesn't look like so far we have access to like a 4th invuln or anything. So it is nice to see some kind of defensive strat there that isn't just an easy 4-up invuln. I think people as a whole are tired of invulns in 40k, so it's nice to see different ways to get defensive buffs. I just hope they keep that same energy for like all factions in 40k, not just orcs not getting invulns. But Cult of Speed looks great. We also know that they're battle line, so if people want to bring WAAAGH and all battle line bike, we could do that too. Then you move over to the Flyboyz. And tell me any of these detachments that I missed that I haven't looked at yet. I know it's like a Dread Mob and War Horde. I'm only looking for, I think I still got those. I got to look through all the pictures. Don't worry, I'll go over them though. And we'll look over the chats. This video might end up 2 hours, so love you. No, Flyboyz, very interesting to see. One of the first comments I got was, why the heck they get rid of buggies and ludas and burners, but they kept all of the flyers? What the heck? So we'll see. GW really seems to want to implement flyer type units. So when I finish the detachments, I'll go over all the super chats, and then I'll go back to the data sheets. This would be a good day. All right, so detachment rules: Skyborn loons, friendly or aircraft units do not count towards the combined points value of your strategic reserve units. While friendly orc aircraft def comp, the unit is riled up, this unit's range attacks have +1 to hit rolls. So if you want to give your def comptas blast of shooting, waves of shooting, cool. They don't have the blast anymore. I'm just used to saying that. Sorry. If they want to give them shooting, but also your aircraft plus 1 hit, they have to be riled up. There are ways to get them. It seems a little crazy. There are ways to get riled up though. Bear with me. Though it's a little odd to see it on those units. So enhancement, Flyboyz, Ork aircraft unit only. This unit is a character. Oh, this unit has character keyword. When this unit ends an ingress move, each friendly Ork aircraft def copter within 6 of this unit is riled up until the start of your next turn. So there you go. That's how you get riled up. There are other ways you can get riled up too, but for this enhancement for Flyboyz, when this flyer becomes the focal point of riled up, bring it in next to other fly type units, and they'll all get riled up in 6. Nice. Impulsive recon, another upgrade. Ork aircraft unit only in your movement phase. This unit can make an ingress move. So instead of just coming in from the battlefield edge, being very restricted, now they can come down anywhere on the field. So instead of the firing lanes that they actually want to, and they don't ignore cover. We'll see if the data sheets do. But if they do, then that would actually be a lot too. But nonetheless. So yeah, wow, there's a lot going on here, and like we can literally spend like 2 entire full days just looking at all the detachments, then look at all the data sheets, and then look at the ways we can synergize these when we cross them up. So we have days, weeks of content. So hopefully you guys stick around and I do a good job here. But this is exciting because I think I can make some planes work with this. You know, Mork Perry is somewhere out there on the farm. The tractor's going off, and then all of a sudden his wall energy's kicking off, and he's like, oh, flyers, oh, somewhere out there. So first one CP, flying headbutt. Any phase when a friendly aircraft unit is destroyed before rolling deadly demise, that unit, your unit does not have deadly demise ability. Select one enemy unit within 12 of that unit and roll a d6. For each 4+, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal. Bam. So instead of doing a crazy, outrageously OP way of kamikaze mortal wounds on you, now they just kind of transfer the deadly demise ability to you and then reword it. So what happens is when your aircraft is destroyed, you can spend 1 CP, you pick 1 enemy unit, and then you just roll. It looks like 8 dice, 8d6 when you and roll 8d6, or yeah, looks like it. In glory, we'll see when we see, but you see roll a number of d6, and on a 4 you take a mortal wound. I think that's not too powerful and outrageous, but it is pretty powerful in the way that I could put mortals anywhere within 12 of it on demand, and the enemy can't really do anything about it. And if it's 8 dice, that could be pretty decent. So that'd be 8d6. He's like on average 4 mortals for 1 CP. That's a pretty decent exchange. It's like throwing a grenade essentially. So imagine it's just flying headbutt grenade as he sees his way out, but it's in any phase. So you can kill the enemy on their own turn and then be like, oops, now you got less stuff. I like that. Kind of like a Kareen, but for planes, but you're actually just blowing yourself up. Pretty sweet. Then another strat, long uncontrolled burst. Your shooting phase when a friendly Ork aircraft DefCop unit is selected to shoot. That Ork aircraft DefCop the unit, when it makes range attacks that target a fly unit, those can reroll the entire hit rolls. So we'll have aerial combat, which might actually be important again because I think GW is trying to bring flyers into the game as a whole because of this detachment, obviously. So if it applies to everybody, it means I do want a way as an orc that I could possibly interact with other people's flyers, because there are some times that I don't have the shooting that can take it out, and if it can stack defensive buffs so I can shoot them even more, it may be even harder. Like if they stack 2 different ways to be -1 to being hit, like ballistic skill, and then -1 as well, that can make my shooting really, really pinched in a bind to kill a flyer. So if the planes are pointed correctly and have decent profiles, it might be decent to do something like this. It can also apply to just in general flying units that have fly keyword. So a bunch of different Tau mech suits, a bunch of different demon units, a bunch of different just random sporadic units that have fly like infantry jetpack units that make you more likely to actually pick them up on the shooting turn when they have cover. So long uncontrolled burst is actually pretty fire as a strat. if with the right profiles. Yeah, like Drakari. Somebody just in the live chat. Drakari would be one that you just blend up because you're generally pretty soft toughness. Then we go to Whirly Gig Invasion. Your opponent's movement phase. When an enemy unit ends a move, one friendly unengaged Def Cop the unit within 8 of that enemy unit. Your unit can make a normal move up to 6. If you're riled up, you can make it up to flat 6. So if you end within range of this unit can actually end up making a reactive move. Pretty sweet. I like that for Def Coptus. Nice. When we'll be riled up, I don't know, but I'm pretty pumped to see it. None of these strats, as we see, have the condition to being able to spend another CP to make them even stronger, but here we go. But there we go for those in detachments. I'm going to go ahead and look for the picture on the other detachments. Goodness, this is a lot, guys. I might need to end the stream and then get a break and come back for another hour just to make sure I break this up, because it might be an hour for just detachments and then an hour for just data sheets. So I might have to do that. If you guys hate me for it, sorry. If not, then that's cool. Let me see. I do know that there is I was looking at the Horde Detachment, not seeing it right here where I have it. I know I have it somewhere. Warhorn. Let's see what's up with live chat a little bit. Live chat, you guys can. I'll click some of those as I look for the. Oh, here it is. I found Warhorn. I'll also give live chat some love real quick, so I don't fall too behind on it. Let me roll up real quick. I have found Warhorde. I think you guys. I think there's Dread Mob remaining, and then Shooter Boys. Maybe I don't see them in the leaks because they've already kind of revealed. So maybe they're not in these links right now. I haven't seen Dread Mob yet, but I am looking, and here we are with Warhorde. But before we get to Warhorde, let me look at some of these super chats so I don't get too far behind and give people love for anyone who's watching live. This is awesome. It's really exciting and it's a lot of work. 10 wall attack gifted membership to the channel members. We're doing a lot of channel member content because of all the gifts. We have an after action report with 12 cans coming out here, which we were so. I was ahead of the curve and ahead of the flavor you get. I already used 2 Docker rigs and 12 kilocans. I already knew it was coming. Not really, but I could pretend. Yeah, but that did really happen. And then we got the bad dog with, whoa, a super crazy extreme 50 wall tactic gifted memberships. Whoa, absolutely insane. W's in chat for the bad dog. I absolutely got to do a members video now just because of the bad dog, because of you get. So thank you very much for that. Holy gork, as Mostly Ghostly said. So thank you very much. That's encouraging, keeps the wall alive. Boss, you're missing 50 gifted memberships. Yeah, I was missing it. So thank you very much to the bad dog. Everyone's here. We got 152 live. So he just spawned a third of the total mob here. So shout out to the live gets and rewatch gang that will be back on this. We have my boy Talid, of course, 10 1 tactic gifted memberships. I wanted to shout that out. I didn't realize we had this many membership going on right now. Goodness, you guys. Thank you. Extremely generous. I was just going straight into it. We're an hour in. I'm looking at this. So if you're not here anymore, hopefully you get to see this. Or the guys give you love in the comments. But thank you very much. Mad Gets with 33 members. Hobby tip: put Ludas on Flash Gets base size. Bam! Absolutely. Keep them. You never know. Put them up to 40s. Use them as flash kits, and then they might come out with a new kit all of a sudden again, and then you have them again. Put them on tactical rock, make them big enough. Boom, ready to go. Flynn, the big dog, keeping the WAAAGH super strong. Absolutely, he is. All of you guys are. Every participation matters, from every like to every view, every share. Trust me, it does go a long way. There's a lot of competition out, but there's only one great wall. We got McFaxon. My looters and burners went to legends, but I can run them as special weapons and stretch my arm again to 4 squads, make mistakes into miracles. That's actually a really, really great take. And you might be able to find them secondhand. People might be mad about it or have too many anyways. So look out for that secondhand burners and looters that you can use them as special war weapons. I know I'm going to use my burners for like my boys, so I'm pretty pumped. Not pumped like that they're gone, but just pumped I can still use them. Then we got Friendly Neighborhood Canuck with 30 members. Clutch. I don't know what I'm at 30 joules. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's very generous, and thank you very much. So whoa for the Friendly Neighborhood Canuck, and he said clutch on these units and such. Just burning through the last of these member chats. Here we go for the Bullet Boys, as I said, for the 10s. Thank you very much, Arcane. Very generous. Love you get. Doug Poopson, 250 jewels, laughing, disco. I don't know, you don't mean disco, Lord, because I'll crump them. But thank you very much for that. You get, I'm sure that's very generous, and I don't know what it is, but I'm very happy and humbled that you would do it regardless. Super grits for $10. Here's some tea for your time. Oh, thanks. I wasn't trying to like complain. I was just saying like I didn't realize we were running an hour in, and I was like, man, what the this is a lot. And I was like, man, so thank you very much, though. That was very considerate of you. And I will not say no, but I will say thank you. So thanks a lot. Means a lot. Okay, I think I got through those. Goodness, that was pretty wild. That's guys, that's an hour. And I feel like I was hitting the ground running, right? I wasn't just meandering, yapping you up until right now to get an hour in just to get to Warhorde. Um, goodness. And then we still have all of the data sheets. I'm gonna go punch air right now. All right. So we got detachment rules. Friendly orc units melee have sustain 1. So they kept it. They kept the one actual data sheet ability that we actually wanted. This is great because it's supposed to be the detachment that's 3 DP, so that you can actually like play it easily, entry, versatile, the army, stuff like that. Very buff to see. So let's see for the enhancements, which I'm sure changed, and so did the other stuff. So we got Ed Wappa's Kill Chopper. Orc models only. If this unit's attacks made a charge move, this unit's models melee attacks have +1 AP. So you give it to a model, and then he has additional AP. So if it's war boss, he'll get -3 AP. Imagine a Power Claw war boss is -3. That's really, really good. And it's universal. If you're someone that doesn't have a really big collection, you don't have a lot of stuff that has AP or is good into tough units, the fact that you can be like, okay, I can at least deal with my buddy's Terminators a little bit better now. Pretty exciting stuff. Boss is watching. Orc models only once per battle. In your movement phase, you can use this ability. If you do, this unit is riled up until your next turn. So pretty much, it's like a pseudo self activating WAAAGH, where you put this on a unit and then that unit just goes boom, it's buffed and gets buffed only. And it's any orc model that can hold an enhancement can get this enhancement. You're gonna see, I'll just tell you now, war bosses make it easy to get riled up. So really, this is gonna be good for any non-war boss kind of units that can hold enhancements that you can buff up. Pretty exciting there. We have cunning but brutal, orc models only. Orc models only. When this unit is selected to make a fallback, that fallback move does not prevent this unit from being eligible to shoot and declare a charge. I actually like that when you're running multiple mobs. Always give a lot of stress to your enemy to know that you're gonna be able to fall back and do stuff if they don't prioritize you correctly. And then follow me, lads. This unit has +2 movement. So I I do hope, I don't know for sure, guys, mind you, if this is 2 DP or 1 DP. I hope it's 2 DP because then you can like stack this with the different detachment to give more mobility. But nonetheless, I think it's still pretty good to at least have a very easy to access follow me lads movement. Then we go to the stratagems. Breaking edge, 1 CP. Any phase when a friendly attached orc infantry becomes battle shot. Oh, okay. And yeah, when you're battle shocked, that orc infantry unit, you can target that unit with this stratagem, even as battle shock. Cool. Roll a d3. Your unit suffers the double mortal rules wounds, and you're no longer battle shock. Sorry. So this used to be an old ability that war bosses I think could do, or maybe it was a strat. But like I said before, especially newer players that could be hyper punished from battle shocks or just crazy detachments. That they're not familiar with and giving them battle shocks from different units that they're not prepared for, being able to clear it for 1 CP was a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm slowing, making sure I'm getting everything. A lot going on right now. So bear with me. Shout out to the live gang and rewatch gang. Whoa, keep me going with that wall energy, guys. I need it. There's 170 of you now. Let's keep it up. Keeps it going. I'm not used to these super long streams like some crazy gets. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm glad to lose battle. I'm glad to clear battle shock. Trust me, I'm really happy guys have that easily access with Warhorde. Hit him harder. Fight phase. When a friendly orc unit is selected to fight, that orc unit, this unit melee attacks have lethals. So we know everything has sustained. Now I have access to lethal. We do know that if you stack, like I was talking about earlier, Bully Boys, and then Green Tide, you can get it bam bam on your knobs, your mega knobs. But this is just easy to make it just applicable to anybody. Let's say I got flash kits and I just want to shoot my flash kits and I want to shoot and charge with them and I want them to have sustain and lethal in combat. Really easy. Don't need to overthink it. I'm not restricted. Happy to see. Orks is never beaten for 1 CP. Fight phase. When a friendly unit targets an orc fighting phase. When enemy unit targets an orc unit, excluding Titanic units, so no Walker, Morkanauts, Gorkanauts, Stompas, that orc unit, when that unit is destroyed, it could fight on death. When it's riled up, it gets +1. So on a 4+, it fights on death, or on a 3+, if it's riled up. So it's not as strong as it used to be, where everybody just automatically fought. And it does have restrictions on giant walkers. That being said, it still works for everything else, and a lot of stuff will be riled up. Plus, it's only 1 DP now instead of 2. So it's pretty decent. On the 3+ is not nothing to scoff at. Of course, automatically is way better, but on the 3+ is still good. Mow them down. Fight phase. When a friendly orc vehicle unit, excluding walkers, has made a charge move, this turn is selected to fight that orc vehicle unit. This unit's melee attacks have cleave 1, or if that unit already has cleave, +1 the value of cleave. Example, cleave 1 becomes cleave 2. So let's see, maybe, for example, I don't know this for a fact, but a battle wagon or a kill rig, if it has cleave on its extra attack profiles, then those become cleave 2. And trust me, that matters for those profiles that get a bunch of attacks. I've had them happen already currently this with our old Codex. So pretty cool for one, situationally. Fungal fuel injection. Also, by the way, that excludes walkers, so it can't do any vehicle. Sorry, I know some people are listening to this, so I got to be clear. So that one for the vehicle, mow them down, that does not count to walkers. So it's just like kill rigs, battle wagons, stuff like that. So then we go to fungal fuel injections, 1 CP. Your movement phase, when a friendly orc unit mounted / vehicle unit is selected to move, that orc mounted / vehicle unit +2 to move. So that's a nice different way. So one way you follow me, lads, for just orc models in this unit, follow me, lads, and then this is +2 from this. So I do know right now from when I peeked at, mounted squigs can't lead units anymore. So we'll look at what can from orc models, and we'll see if that can stack with vehicle leading / mounted leading. But we don't know this yet, but there might be a way to stack +2 moves, which means something is +4 to move, which would be awesome if we could pull that off. If not, +2 moves still good. Close range Doctor. Your shooting phase, when a friendly orc unit is selected to shoot, that orc unit effect, your unit range attacks have rapid fire 1. Or if that unit already has rapid fire 1, they get rapid fire 2. Whoa! So what the looters were enjoying, but now they got it for actually 1 strat, 1 CP. For example, you're a new git playing Coliseum, playing Warhorde, Shooter Boys, you use 1 CP, your Shooter Boys all got rapid fire 2. Bam. It just increases it by 1. And it says orc unit. So this applies to vehicles or anything like that if we're not aware of it. Nice situational, fun little strat. Nonetheless, Warhorde isn't looking super, super powerful like it used to, in my opinion, right? A lot of the even enhancements went down in strength. The stratagems went down in their strength. If this is 3 DP, that is not a really high ceiling of power. If it's 2, I think this is more of a 2 DP one, and then they can take additional ones, which would make this really, really good structurally and foundationally for a lot of different builds and armies. So you start with this when you're a tiny army, and then when you build up more of your collections based off what you've been collecting, you add 1 DP hopefully to this Warhorde, and then you can make it even better. So like, say you're playing Warhorde and you own a bunch of Mega Knobs, then you can say, okay, I'm going to pick the Bully Boys so that I could get those buffs, or Cult of Speed, blah, 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 for example. I'm actually really liking that. I do really hope this is just 2 DP. I don't have anything that shows me that it's 1 or 3 or 2 DP. Maybe someone can tell me or show me where we're seeing that, but I'm not seeing that yet. So I don't know as an absolute if that is 2 or 3 DP. Nonetheless, I'm hoping it's 2 for its building. If it's not, then people shouldn't be as worried about power for the 3 DP ones, because that one wouldn't be impressive if it was 3 DP for those rules. Okay. I'm making sure that there's no Dread Mob or Shooter Boys. Shout out to Jank, channel moderator, who also sent me some, and some other guys like Ghostly who were trying to send me the links to make sure that I was seeing all the links I could. But yeah, from what I can see, now that I went over all the detachments that I could, I don't see another Dread Mob leak, and I don't see a Shooter Boy leak. Maybe because they've already been shown, the person just didn't think it was important to show them out. If it gets shown later, or if somebody gets it, let me know during the stream, and I'll go back and find it, pull it up. You can at me, whatever it is. But right now, I'm not seeing any Shooter Dread Mob or Shooter Boy detachment breakdowns, but I'm pretty sure I broke down every other detachment. Mind you, I also don't have every single data sheet available either, but I do have a lot of them. Yeah, and I don't see a Blitz Brigade as well. So we don't have every single orc data sheet, and we don't have every single orc detachment. So just so anybody who's watching those. Now, with that being said, I think we hit the super chat. And if there's more super chats, I'll get to them as well. Like this one, Super Grits. Whoa! Or I'm feeling riled up. Thank you. That's helping me a lot, you guys. Just trust me. It's a good day out here. This is an hour and 15 in already. This is looking like a 2-hour stream, easy. Maybe 2.5. Goodness. So keep the energy going and the likes, because this is going to be the great WAAAGH. This is a breakdown like no other channel is giving you, because we extensively understand the orcs and what is coming and the differences in their data sheets. But yet we are objective and we understand what something is too strong or would be unenjoyable for our opponents. Nonetheless, we are going to stand on them orc business and not let people push us around and tell us all about our army other than ourselves. But with that being said, before we jump back into the video, shout out to Monument Hobbies and their Pro Acryl paints. If you're an orc player, you already know the pain of painting mobs of models, vehicles, bikers, walkers, too many lads at once. And that's why I like Pro Acryl. The paint is high quality, easy to work with, and comes with properly thin paint right out the bottle, which means less time fighting with your paints and more time getting your wall on the table. So whether you're a new orc player and joining the Great Wall, or you're trying to finish another 20 gits before your event, and check out Pro Acryl paints from Monument Hobbies using my affiliate link in the description. It helps support the channel and no extra cost to you, because the faster you paint, the faster you wall. Yeah. So we're back, you get. So that being said, let's start looking at some data sheets. Like I said, I don't have all the data sheets, but I have what I have, and I'll do what I kind of look at them. Some of these data sheets will be a lot more blurry than others. I'll do my best to read them and to guess what they actually say. Of course, like I said, there's just leaks, but these are looking like credible leaks. And I literally don't know. Are we the only ones that are showing these right now? If we are, chat, let me know. Are we the first ones on this? Because if we are, that's a great love to the Great Wall right now. So thanks to you guys in the Discord for help setting this up. So let's get into what might be one of the only somewhat disappointing units that we can show. But remember, we're a half cup full type of channel mentality out here, because orcs are never beaten. So we'll still talk about what's good about this. Goodness, I'm clicky double this and it's throwing me out of the loop. So that being said, we got the Squig Hog boys. Now, right off the rip, I'm going to say, yes, we lost the 5-up feel, no pain. We also lost a pip of toughness. So Squig Hog boys are now T6, and they don't have a 5-up feel, no pain. Okay? Just take it in for a second. Just wanted to say it, just you guys know. Now, on the other hand, our data sheet ability is relevant, and we finally got the mobile keyword. So we were talking about getting mobile. We finally got it. That's what it took, but we got it. Dang it. That being said, the actual data sheet ability, brutal impact. If this unit makes a charge move this turn, this unit's attacks have +1 damage. So that means these squig melee attacks are all going to flat 3 damage on the charge. In theory, right now, these guys are acting like Thunderwolf cavalry, but with way better bases, as was pointed out to me. Shout out Christian. But that being said, that means these guys are really just looking to do damage. Now, we looked at Warhorde and the Hunt, for example, and these guys getting buffs. These guys are going to be getting sustained from Warhorde, like always, or they can actually get that additional AP from the Hunt. So then they'll be -2 AP on the charge and getting damage 3 into vehicle monster unit. So that's kind of nice. As for range, they still have the dumb little shiv from the pit from the grot. They have a slugger, then they have the sticker. All that's pretty much the same. And then we have melee, pretty much all the same. Which is actually a little of a disappointment. For example, right? Now, this isn't to bring people down. I'm just pointing this out because people right away are talking about us being too strong and blah 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 for whatever. Well, this is where us lacking the WAAAGH is actually showing up. So one thing we're missing here is that we lost 1 attack on the sticker, which is the guy on top. Currently, of course, this is an in-between time, but even the mount lost an attack as well. So the mount doesn't get from extra attacks. Actually, it still would. Right? It still would. I don't know why. Oh, we're not getting it from the wall. Duh. So we don't get it. So we lost 2 attacks in theory on the wall on this unit per model alone. And then we also lost +1 strength. So the sticker on the wall would be strength 6, and it had lance. So then it was more versatile into non-vehicle monster units. So not only did we lose a pip of strength, but we also lost lance on that unit's profile. So squigs as a whole lost big time on their offensive wounding potential. So the damage in theory potential went up, but their actual wounding potential looking much worse. Now they do have anti-monster 4+ still, but they do not have, for example, lethal, which is on a bunch of different orc profiles. So squigs right now are looking pretty flat. Not that I'm going to be straight up poo-pooing them. We don't know their cost. They could end up working in a way, giving them riled up. They could be early game opening units. They could be early skirmishers. You know, if a pig was like 100 unit points for this, maybe 95, whatever, it could run out. You can make it be riled up. It would have its invuln. And you get into fights, be a little hard to dislodge. But as it is, it's looking a little underwhelming. But this is one of the only data sheets that's really looking underwhelming, and from what, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So if I miss anything from this, let me know. Oh, here's something I got to say, right? The entire orc community, you got to get with me. There's enough people here, all right? This is something we definitely need change that I need addressed immediately. And it's a pretty easy change. Bomb squigs. GW needs to realize they just gave our entire army the ability to be riled up, example, or incentive to always be assaulting and advancing, right? GW gave us incentive to use it army-wide, but yet you made the bomb squigs completely non-synergistic with our entire army as a whole. So the pigs are going to come out, be riled up, get in a fight, but then they can't even use their bomb squigs. But I know GW is going to categorize and calculate the points based off the bomb squig's potential mortal wounds. So the unit itself is going to cost 5 or 10 more points than we would want, maybe even 10, because they have this mortal wound potential in GW's mind. But how often are you really ever going to be able to use it when you have to see them and you have to do a normal move and it's on a 3+? No, it's terrible. So everybody reply to GW, say change bomb squigs, change bomb squigs, change bomb squigs. That'd be an easy way for them to change it, FAQ, because this is stupid that they still don't understand that just literally doesn't function. So that being said, it's a little bit of the old stereotype, rumor, whatever, of whatever was good last edition's book is going to be absolutely dog water in the current edition or updated edition, right? So squigs were a really big deal in the past. They were strong. People loved using them. They were a relied on fundamental backbone unit, and now they're looking like underwhelming kind of crappy unit. So I'm not saying that rumor is always going to be the case, but it's funny how in this case it did actually come true. But that being said, what it didn't come true with is this unit, the Flash Gets. Now I will say this is still a very clean picture. Some of these other pictures are going to be a little blurry and ugly. I'm going to try my best to read them, but this one's legible. And what we read is beautiful. So though the pigs got worse, on the other hand, as a popular unit, the Flash Gets did not to the same degree. Now the Flash Gets, they're T5 still for save, but now they all have 3 wounds. They're not considered knobs or anything, right? You don't see a knobs keyword down here, but they did get the additional wound as if they were knobs. That is awesome. Now we'll see what the points cost at, but we'd love to see 3 wounds per these kind of like elite shooting infantry dudes. They're still up to 5 to 10 man units, so nothing weird like becoming 6-man units or anything. That'd be very disappointed. So I like to see it. They also got a diversity in their profiles, yet kept a lot of good efficiency and buff stacking. Now, if we look at the data sheet ability, though, it says your unit makes the range attack when this unit range of an objective or targets within units in range of an objective. That immediately stacks with the Wreckas Detachment, where they get you reroll ones. So 100% doubling down on incentive for the Flash Gets to shoot while on objectives or standing on them or whatever, and to play that detachment. I can see people breaking into Wreckas a lot of the time as one of those 1DP detachments because of stuff like this. Then we look at the ranged weapons, Snaggas. So they have a cutter profile. They're close range. This is Melta 2. We literally have not had a Melta profile at all. So thank you, GW, for actually giving us some type of Melta potential. I'm happy that we have access to it all. That's pretty sweet. Strength 12, 1 shot each per dude. Ballistic skill 4, likely stuff's going to have cover, right? So you're hitting on 5s maybe. Strength 9, pretty low strength threshold, of course. But that's where we see a lot of different units that would be on a like an Eradicator, for example. But we don't have rerolls or something, which is the weird part, other than reroll ones. So don't expect volume of hits here. This AP -3, but clearly you can get to AB -4 easily. And then it's D3 plus 2 damage, but if it's Melta, so you're within 6, that'd be another +2. So it'd be D3 plus 4 damage in theory. Then we have Snagagun, DACA profile. This is lethal versus non-vehicles monster, and it has sustain 1. 24 inches, 3 shots per dude. Ballistic skill 4, strength 6, -1, 2 damage. Good old profile that it used to have. And then, of course, you still have access to that rapid fire enhancement. So, in theory, you can at least get back up to 4 shots. So, you're not getting on what you used to, where you would get up to 5 and then have blast or whatever. But you can still really take off and still have access to AP -2. I think that's pretty sweet. And mind you, we hit on 4s now. So we don't have access to heavy, but hey, you're going to be more likely to actually hitting on 5s than before, where you're almost always hitting on 6s. So that's pretty good upgrade. Then last but not least is Snaz Gun, where we have Kill Shot, which is hazardous, 36-inch range, 2 each. Hitting on 4, strength 8, -2, 2 damage. Kind of like a little bit of a plasma gun. Again, if you're using that rapid fire, then you can get this up to 3 shots. So another cool little option there. We'll see what these guys look at when we get the points. Immediately, people are going to be like, oh my God, this is so strong. We literally don't know the points. We literally don't. So let's just hold on to our britches, as some people would say, and just enjoy it for what it is. I do have a working theory as a whole, right, guys? Just so you know that this video is supposed to be about for Orks and where GW is trying to take 40K. Maybe I can end it off in this one or something, but yeah. And like they said, yeah, they lost their ammo runs, which now ammo runs give +1 to hit, but they do still have the built-in lethal / sustain, at least when they're shooting infantry. The old ability they used to have is like you used to be able to throw a bunch of volume of shots that are lethal and sustain on vehicles. I hope and I think GW is looking to get away from that. They still let stuff have lethals, but they don't want it to work on vehicles because then it bypasses the utility and the whole purpose of toughness, which is kind of like game. It's just dumb for the game, I think, in a lot of people's opinion. So let's move to another a couple data sheets. Now, these are a little bit more blurry. I'm gonna do my best to try to read them and move through them. If someone knows what they actually say, for example, and stuff, then let me know. Like the mech gun one is so ugly, I could barely read that. Goodness. Let's see. Let's try to do this Wurrband data sheet. Goodness, an hour and a half. Am I doing a terrible job here? Am I being slow? I feel like I'm going fast. So we got Wurrband and Mega Armor, Movement 5, Toughness 7, 2 up save, 5 up invuln, 7 wounds, 6 leadership, 1 OC. Range attacks, he has his normal big shooter thing he had before. It has rapid fire, it has lethal hits. Then his melee, he has access to cleave 2. Helps him a lot because he had low volume of attacks before. 5 attacks base, so like if he was on the wall before, hitting on 2s. That looks like a strength 10, but it might be a strength 12 when I'm zooming in on it. -2, and then that looks like 3 damage, in my opinion. He's a leader, obviously. It looks like crushing impacts or something like that on the charge move. When this enemy's engaged, you roll a d6 for that unit that's engaged, and on you roll a d6, and on a, I think it's like a 5+ or a 4 if you take a mortal wound. So he does crushing mortal wounds to you, and it looks like it's per model or per him. I can't read it based off that little data sheet. Now, this is something that you guys I was alluding to earlier. All war bosses, as far as we can see, have this ability: intimidating motivation. Once per battle round per army. Sorry, once per battle. Is it past battle round? Once per battle round per army. I think it says per battle round right there. We'll check the other ones. If it's battle round or battle, that's a huge deal. If it's per battle, that's a big deal. If it's per battle round, that's different. Yeah, it looks like it could be 5 up on there. But per battle, once per battle round per army in your movement phase, so you can pick one unit, make it go to the wall within 6 inches of you. So pretty much the Orc war boss picks someone at the start or the end of their movement phase, allows them to no longer be battle shocked, and he makes them riled up. So this looks like a universal power to all war bosses, where they're going to go around clearing battle shocks and giving something riled up. Now, mind you, this is only once, but it seems like a war boss, if he doesn't die, can consistently do this. So if you're playing a game and you only have one war boss, that means every round this war boss can do this. Every round in the game, this war boss can do it once. If you have multiple war bosses on your list, that means only one war boss per round is doing this ability in the movement phase. All right, just making sure you guys got that so we understand. Now, this looks like there's going to be an ability on a bunch of different war bosses. So this isn't just the war boss on Mega Armor. Then we go to the Big Mek. So the Big Mek, I'm trying to look down here if he has a Big Mek keyword. You can't really see it. I'm assuming when it says Big Mek for all the stuff, it counts to him. We'll see the Docker rig. Someone said I saw the image here on Reddit. It's on a 3+. I'll say so on a 3+, he does his impacts for the war boss of Mega Armor. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. So then we go back to the Big Mek. So Big Mek, movement 5, movement 6, T5, 3 up, save, 6 wounds, 7 leadership, 1 OC. It looks like the custom Mega Blaster has changed to the fact that it still has 3 shots, still hazardous, but it hits on 4s. Strength 9, -2, and it looks like it's flat 3 damage. So rockets went up to strength 10, it seems like, for the most part, and they're flat 3 damage as well. So I guess just who has access to the custom Mega Blast, and maybe the difference it is. I don't know if it's really that impressive though. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Then we have the Tractor Cannon, anti-fly, 2+. It looks like it's 2 shots now. Strength, hitting on 4s, strength 6, -2, D3 +3. It looks like damage, which is cool because, like we've seen earlier with the strat, you can make someone fly. So if you make someone fly and then you shoot them with the Big Mek, then they're anti. If it's like him, the one shooting at them, like we're seeing in the Mek detachment, right? So you use that. I think it was a strat or an enhancement or something, and he'll give that unit fly, and then he'll have anti into them. Now it is random, so you don't know it, but that'd be cool. Now actually his datasheet ability, which I actually should have started off with, he ignores cover, and then if he's riled up, the unit's riled up, they get sustain 1. Then his other datasheet ability is Shock Booster. if you're in the movement phase and this unit makes an advanced move, you can have the ability of this unit. This unit can change that advanced roll to a flat 6. This unit can move through all types of models. And then when this unit makes an advanced roll or makes an advanced move, make a hazard roll for each model in this unit. So it looks like he can make him move auto fast and move through stuff, but then he has to take a hazard. Hazard's only one mortal now, so it's not as devastating for assured mobility. Considering that you're going to be able to be fast, riled up, all this different stuff in different ways, it might be cool to be like, okay, I have a data sheet that's literally built in auto advancing 6, move through enemy units, and auto advancing 6, move through enemy units, and I'm riled up, and I'm advancing and shooting, ignoring cover, and then charging. So that could be crazy. Now, we don't know what it can lead, but then let's say he leads knobs, for example. So the knobs could run up, advance. Let's say they're riled up from something, like a war boss picks them or whatever. So they get riled up. They have a Big Mek leading them, let's say a knob. He auto advances 6 with them. They move through the screens. And then they charge through another screen because their data sheet ability, and then they hit an enemy target. That'd be kind of funny. Now, I don't know what conditions that could actually happen, but goodness. Whatever. It's a thing. Then we move on. So then we go to the Big Mek in Mega Armor. So let's see what this get does now, because he's been generally underwhelming. This guy, I think he's going to get no, knobs have charged through the screens, not move through. They have charged through, right? So what I'm saying is you can move through one thing and then charge through another thing. And then that means you can hit a core unit with your knobs. So yes, that's actually a bigger deal because you could just move through a dumb unit that's right in front of you and then charge through like a vehicle or something else and then meet like a tech marine or whatever. So there is a difference on this, right? Okay, so he allows you to move through with an advance. The knobs allow you to move through with the charge. So this is double move manipulation. And then he makes it auto 6. So that's way easier to actually just generally move through the advanced unit. So yeah, sweet. Then we go to, so like I was saying about the Big Mek in Mega Armor, he's someone that I think needs a glow up like on his data sheet, and he can use a new model and all that. So we'll see how that looks. But he's T6 instead of like T7, for example, like this War Boss in Mega Armor. So that's an interesting, weird change or differential. He's 2 up armor, 5 up, 5 wounds, leadership 7. He's a leader, so he's not support still. Sorry. And then his data sheet ability, in your command phase, you can heal 1, I think it says 1 wound or 1 unit, I can't tell. Goodness. Actually, and it says to have it on token. I actually don't know what that says, to be honest. But then his other unit ability says ignores cover, and then when they're riled up, they get sustained. So he gets like the similar ability to their Big Mek in that way. Then he has custom force field, so he gives a 4-up invuln to range attacks. So that's what his data sheet does. He has a bunch of range profiles. I'm not going to go through all of them, to be honest. I'm sure they're very similar but different. And then we have his melee, where he has 3 kill saw attacks, sitting on 4 strength. It looks like strength 10, -2, 3 damage. If kill saws are 3 damage, that would be pretty awesome. And I know I can go on Discord or something, or Reddit or something, pull them up, but I don't have my Reddit right now and whatever. So it is what it is. Then we have, you guys just tell me, I guess, if you're right here. And yeah, the teleporter did get better. It's within strength, 12 inches. Looks like 6 shots hitting on 4s, strength 6, -1, 3 damage. So the teleporter blaster, when he's really close, he can shoot a lot better. So that is kind of cool. Do you have to pick a teleporter blaster or his force field? Yeah, teleporter blaster or custom force field for his war gear. So you choose one of them. But like I was saying, kill saws being 3 damage is fantastic. We were really annoyed that they used to be only 2, but it looks like they're only AP 2. So that would be kind of annoying if they lost a pip of tough AP. And they also hit on 4s still, and then power calls hit on 3s. So that is a difference there. All right. So that being said, I don't know. Someone tell me what it says on. You only hear 3 now instead of bodyguards. Oh, okay. So yeah, his data sheet's lame, I think, from what I've seen. Maybe I'm missing something. And we'll see who he can actually lead. So, but maybe it might be good if he can lead like Killicans. I don't see it yet, but if he could lead like Killikans and give them a 4-up invuln and ignore cover and sustain, then that would be cool. But if it's like just Mega Knobs, that'd be kind of weird. So, but I'm inclined to believe that these units might be able to lead characters as well. Okay. And yeah, people are saying it's -2 AP. So I'm gonna look at other data sheets here. Goodness, this is a lot. All right. What's up, y'all? 170 people here. Leave a like, share. If I suck, let me know I sucked. Cool. All right, cool. Let's go into the other data sheets. So we got a truck here. I think most people already seen the truck. You know, here it is, blah, blah, blah. That's real. Larry deck, all similar stuff, yada, yada. I don't care. Let's look at the gun wagon. All right, so the gun wagon. Yeah, there is the gun wagon between the battle wagon and the gun wagon. Boom, right? Here's the battle wagon. Here's the gun wagon. Difference. What I will say right away, now that I'm here, is it does not look like there's a firing deck at all for the gun wagon, and there is a firing deck for the battle wagon. So for earlier when we were talking about, yes, there is firing deck, but it's only for battle wagon. Another difference here is the gun wagon is toughness 12, the battle wagon is toughness 11. Now, with that being said, let's focus on the gun wagon, and then we'll go back to the cannon or the battle wagon. So, gun wagon, movement 10, T12, so higher toughness. 3-up armor, 6-up invuln, 16 wounds, and then he brackets at 6, 7 leadership, 5 wound, 5 OC. So this is intended to be more of a shooting platform. When he shoots, his range attacks reroll hit rolls of 1. He does have better firing profiles, so like his frag is blast 3, and then rapid fire. His shell is rapid fire and it hits on 4s. His kill cannons like anti-infantry, and it has blast and rapid fire, so it can shoot. His zap gun is 2 shots. It's anti-monster vehicle, devastating, anti-monster vehicle 4+ rapid fire 2, and then sustained hits 1. So it's 2 shots on that, and it's 4 damage apiece at -2 AP. So the zap gun can absolutely go off and mess up enemy vehicles and monsters in that. And then of course, remember, you can like use a mech or little stuff like that, because the mech still does what he does and gives it +1 to hit. So he's intended to hurt when he shoots, and the zap gun seems like it could actually put some hurting on us, some tank on tank warfare. As for his melee profile, he has crushing rolls, I think, or bowls, I'm not sure, but it's cleave 2. So it looked like it's his, what used to be his death roll attacks, and it is a cleave weapon. Remember, there was a strat earlier that said if something had cleave already, it would have improved the cleave. So that means this becomes cleave 3, if I'm reading that correctly, if you use that strat. So it's 6 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 8, -2 damage. Then he gets more extra attacks where he gets grabbing claws, 2 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 10, -2 damage. Then he has wrecking ball, cleave 2, 1 attack hitting on 3s, it looks like, strength 10, 0 AP, D6 damage. And then it has profiles for swapping out some of this stuff. But for the sake of the video's length, I won't go over every single option for war gear on that guy. We'll go back to that when we break down everything. Trust me. I'm going to break down all of this, the detachments, the combos. All I do is care about Orks, so nobody got nothing on us. So then we got the battle wagon. All right, so the battle wagon now, instead of having the built-in armor of contempt, it has -1 damage built in. That's pretty sweet. Now, what I will say is like -1 damage doesn't feel that sick when you're getting shot at by a lancer. But I guess if you have a 5-up invuln already, neither does -1 AP. So you can think of it like that, right? It matters all the time, and before it didn't matter all the time. What I will also say, it's -1 damage only at ranged weapons. So I used to like, of course, getting this into a fight, slowing people down and stuff. So stopping AP would be kind of cool. In this case, ranged only, so it's more of a transporting capability type of thing. But it also has this firing deck thing, so you can have like a gun wagon, then a battle wagon, and then use the strat to use the firing deck here, and then use the breaker boys and stuff like that. So there's ways to combo this that would be fun. That being said, just for its range attacks, it just has shooters. So it's pretty interesting to see, because I have a battle wagon that's built just like this, and I thought I was just being lazy and incomplete, but now it's like I really have a difference now. I own technically a gun wagon and a battle wagon now. So you guys let me know how you feel about that. More reasons for magnetization, I guess. So this says melee profiles. It still has the Crump and Bulk as cleave 1 here. So it has less attacks, but it still has cleave, same as the other one. As a Grab and Claw and the Wrecking Ball. So similar profiles. This model holds 22, and the Breaking Claw. Ooh, sorry, guys. Let me fix this. The Breaking Claw holds 12. Sorry, what the heck, Breaking Claw? Excuse me. Gun Wagon holds 12, and the Battle Wagon holds 22. So that still applies for the transport volume. Boom. All right, there we at. All right, cool. All right, so with that being said, let me move to another group of data sheets that I have on hand. I'm sorry if I'm moving a little slow from some of those because I'm making sure I cover the ones I have access to here. I shall link the video. Hey, I guess you got to leave a like, and we'll have to edit these down with our Big Mac for general consumption and rewatch gang. This is gonna be great for anybody who's working, right? Like me, I know I listen to long form content, so shout out to the long form workers. So here we go. Now we got the Breaker Boys and the Tank Busters on hand. I'll do this real quick because we kind of already looked at these data sheets a lot. Such. One thing I'll say again is for both of these, the freaking bomb squig requires a normal move when neither of these units have any incentive to do a normal move. So let GW know that is a non-conducive written ability. They need to adjust that because you're going to want to nerf us. You might as well at least fix things in a way that makes sense. Now, you look at the Breaker Boys, everything's the same for their stat lines other than the fact that they have a knob now, and then the knob is now 3 wounds. That's freaking sick. For our range profiles, we still have that pistol at close range, 1 shot. It looks like it's strength 10, -2, 3 damage. They still have the +1 to charge rolls as well. So pretty straightforward, easy to remember. They have 2 profiles again like they used to. They have the standard smash. You can think of it almost exactly as prior WAAAGH stats. So before, when they were in the WAAAGH, they would have strength 7 and they would have 3 attacks. Now, just baseline, they have 3 attacks and they're strength 7. Okay, so before they used to be strength 6, now they're strength 7, and they have 2 attacks before, now they have 3. So it's nice that at least they're versatile. They go at least to elite infantry and stuff like that at that breaking point of strength 7, so you can like fight custodes. Now you aren't damage 3, so it doesn't make custodes feel bad that you're one-shotting all of them. So there's a give and take on that, right? Give and take on that. It may be better. Argument was better before in that case, but it still was all revolved around the WAAAGH, though you know a lot of time you're going to be riled up anyways. So it's interesting 2 sides of the coin there. But they do have the Hunter profile, which is like their vehicle attacking profile only. It hits on 3s. It's strength. It looks like it's strength 12, -2, 3 damage. And then you still have the tank hammer, which is devastating and hazardous, hitting on 4s and strength 12, -2, 3 damage on this one. It doesn't look like it has anti-4. I don't see it, right? So I don't know if that tank hammer is going to be as good at doing devastating wounds. Last but not least here, I had to give some love to the Knuckle Dusters, right? So I don't know how many of you gets. You guys let me know right now in chat. How many of you gets actually built up your Knuckle Duster models and didn't just make everybody rockets, right? So I have my Knuckle Duster models for this day because GW loves doing this pattern of making stuff that you didn't use before, possibly the thing you want to use. So Knuckle Dusters now have anti-monster 4+. Looks like they have roughly 4 attacks to pop, hitting on 3s, strength 5, -2, 2 attacks. So it's not amazing, but hey, it's not that bad. Of a profile, might consider it, and maybe I missed something and read it more, and there's more stuff to see there. But cool. That being said, Tank Busters, I think everybody's already seen them. So they have lethal and additional AP on the Pulsa, all the different stuff. If you missed Tank Busters at this point, I don't know what to tell you. And yeah, Tank Hammer looks like it only got worse. What's up, Super Grits again? Dang, Super Grits, another super generous. Oh my goodness, I just noticed the bad dog again. How did I miss this? What the did I miss that? The Super Grits though, your pacing is perfect. Thank you, dude. I'm trying to make sure I'm diligent for anybody listening and rewatch, so I don't waste your time and blabber on and go but I also want to be excited and hit all the stuff that I find important without pontificating too much and getting lost in the sauce. So thank you very much. So I know I'm doing good. That actually matters, guys. Trust me. I'm not a public speaker. I'm a blue collar kid. Speaking of Plugala gifts, we got the bad dog for another 50 WAAAGH tactic gifted memberships. He is literally spawning a third or maybe half of the viewers that have spawned now. That's 100 memberships. Yep, the second members was a second. Hit the second tower, sir. Yeah, exactly. It was a second group of 50 memberships. I thought it was the same. It was absolutely not. So the bad dog put another. That's 100 memberships from the bad dog alone. The bad dog might be the biggest spawning war boss we've ever seen. He might have to get the nickname the Runt Herder because he's just spawning you gets and grots all over the field today with the hundreds of viewers we've had live. At least half of them have gotten a membership from the bad dog, from everyone who's gotten a membership, if not more. So thank you very much to that bad dog. It's super generous of you. Love it very much. You get means a lot. I've always throws me for a spin that people are generous like that. But thank you, and hopefully it helps people out. And then we go to the Met gun. So this is trash. Quality. I might have to go look for another quality of the picture here. So I'll skip Met guns and I might come to this one later, just because it's too ugly and I don't want to like meander through that picture too much. I might be able to pull up a better one, either from like Reddit and then save it and paste it or something. So I'll find that. But let me look at more data sheets as a whole, because we still have a bunch of other ones that I can pull up and look at. For example, right here. Hey, can you guys still hear me? Make sure you guys, 1, 2, make sure you still hear me. If I take myself off screen, can you hear me? It looks like I'm off screen. And we get more viewing for you guys. It looks like I don't take up that much space. All right, so here we have some of the characters. Some of these we know are like the same as what they used to be. So no big deal. So let's look at these real quick that we're aware of, and then the ones that we weren't aware of. Thanks, guys. Look at the love here. You guys were quick on that. Someone's making fun of me for my pictures. I don't. What's up then? So let's go to the big boss. So the big boss does not have built-in sustain. What's up? No one was expecting that. You know how many times I was looking at stuff that was saying the stuff in the Armageddon box is staying exactly the same? Huh? So now it looks like he has he has what used to be the old War Boss ability. So he gives +1 to hit to the unit, and he doesn't give sustain anymore. That is absolutely insane. Here's my big boss, one of them at least. Look at him. Look at him. Menacingly not giving sustain to us anymore. And he's support, so you can put him with a war boss. Pretty cool. Then he has a slugger, whatever. He goes melee profile. He has precision built in. So instead of having cleave, he has precision. I think that's cool. We don't really have precision too much. And you can at least try to precision out little weak characters. He's going to be hitting on 2s. He might have access to lethal and sustain if he's leading like a boy unit or something like that. And if he's the right point cost, that could be cool for like a little blitzkrieg thing. Cleave is arguably better, but if it's cleave 1, it's not always going to even come into play. So nonetheless, I would say hard to say if it's a improvement or a downgrade, because he's support, so like you can stack him in a different way with other units, but him offensively seems to have lost just a little bit. But everybody loves +1 to hit, and if he's still sticking around 50-55 points, that'll be an easy way to get +1 to hit to your orc units. And if you still want the war boss and stuff, then you can make some supercharged hard hitting unit, because how he is he'll at least be hitting like another additional hard hitting knob. Now the real question that I'm wondering here, and I don't know this for a fact, and I'm not sure, I'm not 100% on all my precision rules, but if I use a CP for precision, can he still use his built-in precision on his own? Maybe more way to reliably use precision. I don't know, but we'll see. If he's still like 55 points, I can still see him being used. But I just wanted to point out that he actually did get worse. Speaking of who got worse, my banner knob. GW did me wrong. Look at you. See my banner knob? Look at him. His beauty. Banner knob now, he just gives +1 to charge rolls. So he took the big boss. Oh, big boss definitely got worse because he lost his +1 to charge roll. So big boss is super downgrade. Hopefully he's worse. Hopefully he's less than 50 points. Oh, he's like 45 or just straight 50, because he lost +1 to charge also. I just realized that. That sucks, but goodness, that's annoying. Wow. But the Baronom is just +1 charge. So instead of giving me an invuln and such, he tricked us all. GW tricked us, and this guy is kind of trash. I don't say that lightly because you guys know, based off all my prior content, based off all of the videos I've ever done and how I speak, I don't ever just blatantly call stuff trash. But in comparison to what he was, and like someone just said right now, his keywords and what he was before, that quick, he has quickly fallen down to pretty much trash category. He lost his invuln, he lost his toughness, he lost 3 OC. And in response, all he got was better melee profile. So if he's 30 points and you need someone to hold an enhancement, cool. But I'm actually quite disappointed in this to GW just because it hurts new players to give them quite decent little characters to play non-optimized units and then make them dog water characters. So whatever. But I mean, someone had to take the back end of the stick on the power curve because a lot of other stuff is pretty strong. So that being said, these two guys, Big Boss and Banner Knob, are kind of trash. If they're cheap enough, though, they might be cool to hold enhancements. So yeah, that being said, now move to Boss Snickrot, someone who's changed. So Boss Snickrot, not changed. Sorry, someone who's we've loved. So he's infiltrator, leader, lone operative, stealth. He does all those core abilities. His melee profile now, pretty sweet enough, is anti-infantry 2+. I love that. Makes him kind of like a Eldar, how they usually have a lot of stuff like that. He has built-in precision as well. 6 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 6, -2 damage. Recently, he just messed up a Gene Stealer, what is it called? Brood Lord for me in a 1v1. He like finished him off. So Snickrot be crumping, dude. He be crumping. And he's pretty much the same though. Then we look at infiltrators at the end of your opponent's fight phase. If each model in this unit is hidden and unengaged, you can place this unit in strategic reserves. So at the end of your unit's fight phase, you pick this guy up. Okay, if you're engaged. And then Death from the Shadows. First battle run onwards. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, if this unit is in strategic reserves, this unit can make an ingress. Okay, so he definitely lost his awesome ability that he used to have. Where he used to be able to be picked up at any time during the movement phase, and then just immediately moved. Really good for scoring. Oh yeah, and he lost Twin Link. Shout out to chat. Thank you. That's actually a big deal. I knew there was something missing there. He lost Twin Link. That sucks ass. Hey man, give us Twin Link back. But he I feel like that data should be this way works, dudes. He used to be able to move anytime during the movement phase, even if it was just at once, and then come down. Now he just gets picked up. I mean, he can come down early one and make an ingress move. He doesn't have a deep strike either. So he's just coming in from the battlefield edge. So that being said, I think he actually got worse. I think he got worse all around, which is kind of sad to see. If he's still cheap enough, he might serve some kind of role for scoring. If everything else goes up a lot and he stays around the same, then you might keep him just for that. But just coming on the edges because it's reserves, strategic reserves, ingress, and he doesn't have deep strike, that means he's not going anywhere. So that's worse. So all in all, we're hitting 3 for 3 on worse. Those units looking worse. So let's move on to the weird boy. So he has Deadly Demise, D3, so he blows himself up, and he's support now. So instead of being a leader. Now, why that matters as well is he's not able to be by himself, running around just doing stuff because he's support, right? He would need to be a leader to be acting independently as a psychic guy. So that's kind of frustrating as well. So we have WAAAGH Energy, Psychic level 1, this model in the psychic abilities, psychic phase, whatever. All right. He has Power Vomit as his ranged attack. Yeah. Blast 1, Hazardous, Psychic, Torrent, range 12. Looks like it's 3 attacks. Strength 5, hitting -3, 2 damage. Remember, though, this is absolutely getting stacked with the Wurrband Detachment if you want to. So you get more attacks, you get more strength, stuff like that. Then he has his melee. Psychic attack. Again, this get increased in its ability. Looks like 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s, strength 8, -1, 2 damage. Psychic abilities. If he's not battle shock, this unit can be in strategic reserve, and then this unit has deep strike. That's who he makes the battle. That's who makes his roll. Again, he can't roll a 1. If he rolls a 1, then he's battle shocked. And then he has warp path. In the fight phase, he rolled D6. This unit melee attacks can reroll wound rolls of 1. This unit's melee attacks have psychic keyword. So if you give this warp path, and then you have Boyz leading it, and then you give him the second ability, that means, in theory, from what I understand, the Boyz would also get the buff from the psychic thing. So if I understand that we're right, then you can make the Boyz psychically get their buffs as well more. If not, then at the very least, giving them psychic means you ignore any modifiers to hit, which would be cool also. And I remind you, he's support. So like, I was going to say if something has +1 to hit, but I guess the freaking big boss is support 2 now, so you can't put them together. Oh my god. So that's interesting. We'll see how this rolls out together when we look at more of the data sheets. But I'm cool to see the ability. Nonetheless, I remember when I first talked about him changing, and I said what I wanted to see from him. 4 freaking wounds is not what I wanted to see from him. Absolutely dog water. He needed at least be 5. That's trash. What the hell was that? Also, he has army-wide rules. Army rules, sorry. It shows unstable energies. So whatever that is, he has that also. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Okay. So he missed whatever that is. Keep an eye out. All right. So let me take this off again. You got to see my face. Hello, howdy. 2 hours in, you get. We made it to the 2-hour mark. Let me pull up another page of data sheets. So far, it looks like I've covered a good amount, but I still got. Looks like I got still about like 20 data sheets, to be honest, I think. Okay, someone said I have that page. Thank you. I'll check that in a little bit. I see you did DM me. So I'll be sure to check that. I still have more pages, don't worry. I was just looking to see what I have access to right now, right off the rip. All right. So let me get my face out of here. All right. So here's Gazgul, Nazdrag, and then War Bosses. What we'll say is we've already seen Gaz and Nazdrag, so I won't spend extensive time on this. But I will be excited about it still. So we still have Gaz. He looks amazing. We talked about his butt. We talked about his new cleave, his riling up ability. Remember, his riled up ability is pretty sick. His is once per battle. The War Boss's isn't, and it's related to the what battle it is. So if you have Gaz come out round 3 or round 4, right, then chances are he can pick 4 units, and one of them could be himself. That could be crazy. Let's say you pick something to be riled up turn 1, and it goes and gets in a fight, or you don't do nothing that's riled up, whatever. Turn 2, you call stuff riled up, or you Nazdrag down here to rile up something. Turn 3, you call an army-wide wall, and then turn 4, you call everything else that's left on the field and make it riled up as well. Right? The Gazgul Thraka, because it doesn't have any restrictions on units I can see, units that are in range of me, it just says you select friendly number of orc units for battle round it is. So you can use this for a nail in the coffin type of activity, whether it's battle round 3 or 4, where you can just choose every decent unit left on the field to be riled up. Just saying. So yeah, Gaz pretty straightforward there. Then we go to Nazdrag. So as we seen earlier too, and yeah, Gaz isn't a leader, all that good stuff. That. So something here we do see is Nazdrag's a leader and he has deep strike. Mind you, he's T7 also. So I haven't seen the Big Mek and Mega armors. I got to go look for them. And the sheets, I'm sure I have them. But Big Mek is T6 and then they're T7. So I want to see what the actual unit is. But he has deep strike, so I'm glad about that. Again, he actually he has a range where he picks units to be riled up. So I like that. But his is also once per battle round as well. So he's like any other orc war boss. I think we talked enough about him. Let me move on to the war boss himself, because I think that's not a leak. So now we look at the war boss himself. One thing right away I'm going to pull off is that he does not +1 to hit anymore. I miss +1 to hit greatly. I knew it. This was going to be a thing, right? I said to people I knew, hey, we're going to be losing access to +1 to hit so easily accessed, right? Because we're so used to being +1 to hit almost on every single character leading. And I think that's a real big deal that we're not +1 to hit, because we have lost one attack from the wall on everything. And then now we're not +1 to hit almost universally from our war bosses, which means we're way less accurate. We're going to miss a lot more of attacks. So yeah, we haven't seen like critical 5+ for sustain or anything. So our volume, at least in melee, is far lowered in volume, at least just overall dice being thrown. But there's a lot to say about that. That's a whole topic on its own. I want to point that out. As for just straight dice though on the war boss, that's not the case. All right. You thought I was going to say that. No, the war boss himself is still crumping really hard. So let's talk about that. So one thing is that he has the boss in the ammo run when he's excited to shoot. This model's range attacks have +1 to hit. It doesn't say this model's unit. It says this model. And if this unit's made a charge, it says if this unit made a charge this turn, as melee attacks have +3 attacks, +2 strength. And then he still has picking someone to make them battle shocked. Riled up. So that can be himself. So chances are, if he's making a charge, he's always riled up, because he could just simply choose himself to be riled up if he knows he's going to make a charge. So that's +3 attacks to his base profile and +2 strength to his base profile. Nice to see, because it's not just once per game that he's going to have a lot of attacks. He can keep choosing himself, like we said. If he survives fights, he gets to keep going off and doing it. Then we go to his profiles real quick. He only has 2, nice and simple. He has the custom choppa, right? Like my get right here. I got them all built up, custom choppa on screen. Bam. I don't know who can see it, but I'm showing you anyways. I like that. He has cleave 2, 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 7, -2, 2 damage. So that means when he's on a charge, he'll get up to 3. So that'd be 9. And then when we looked earlier at Green Tide, he get +2 from that enhancement. So then that he get up to 11. And then if he's leading the boy and the boys use the strat, he can get up to 12. And then he has cleave 2. So if he's fighting like a 5-man unit, he can get up to 14 attacks. Just in theory, just put it out there. And then if he's boys, he would have sustain and lethal if it was Green Tide. So the boys don't hit that hard, but he still hits super freaking hard. And then he hits on 2s. So I just want to point that out. Just throwing that out there. So hopefully you guys like that. That I'm not on the screen? Yeah. Oh, here I'm not. Okay. Hi. But hopefully that made it. Oh, look at someone miss my face. That's cute, I guess. Cool. But yeah, I was just wanting to point that out. Thanks for showing that. That's a lot of attacks. A little bit here, Hero Hammer-esque, maybe, where our units aren't doing as much damage. But remember, we have the ability to shoot and charge in fight now. So our combined arms capability is really where also our additional damage is coming from. And that's a lot of what GW really wants. Personally, I think that's a good thing. I think it's going to help for ease of play of the game, speed of the game. Man, I have a whole huge topic and rant about that, but all this stuff came out before I started that video. We'll see if I have enough wall energy left to still cover that topic. Oh, let me make myself small again. This is ugly. Can't even see this. Goodness. Let me see if I can pull up cleaner pictures at this point of these guys, because these data sheets are kind of ugly. I can still read them, but when I'm looking on screen to see you guys, it looks like you can't see that. Okay, we have the unstable energies page, by the way. So we'll look at that. That was next to the wall page. So thank you for that. And all the people that are messaging me right now. A lot of people messaging me. So yeah, let's see. I see Mark Perry. Let's see. Maybe we'll try to get Mark Perry on live. If you're here live, put a like and a wah or a W in chat so Mark Perry joins us live. Maybe he'll be tempted to join us, even though it's a little late for him. I don't even know if he can see this, but he is around. He did message me. So we're looking at, yes, it has happened. The Runt Herder is a character. And there was a video, and I should have done a better job of promoting it, where I was telling people like 2 months ago, where I said the Run Herder is going to be a character now. It's too easy for GOB to sell them, and it goes too easily with like the kid and what they're selling and Armageddon. So let's actually look at what the heck this freaking stupid Run Herder does, and if he could possibly be worth the points that he is going to be taking up or trying to consume. So let's see. Sorry guys, I was getting a little lost in the sauce. Mark Perry, give the streamer better pictures. Sorry guys, I'd have to go on Reddit, and I don't have a Reddit thing, and I'm reading everything to you, so you could just look at me and then the picture and squint. No, I'm just kidding. So Run Herder, right off the rip, let's get it. He has 3 wounds. Pretty hilarious. That's the biggest thing that you notice that he changes right away. He's also considered a support character. So we'll see if he can ever go with anything other than just grots. For his runt tools, it's pretty much exactly the same as it used to be. Strength 5, 0 AP, 3 attacks. It says that'll learn you once per battle round. When this unit becomes battle shocked. Okay, so this unit on a 4+, you can roll D3 dice, and this unit is no longer battle shocked, or also not or it's that number of Gretchen models in that unit are destroyed. Okay, so you roll a D3, and then a 4+. Okay, sorry, it's really hard to see. There you go. If the unit contains 4 plus Gretchen, you can roll a D6. Yeah. And then if not, then the unit number of Gretchen are dead according to that D6. And that unit's no longer battle shocked. Okay. Sorry, guys. I was making sure. Yeah, he's not going on the list. Yeah, that's a pretty trash ability. Okay. It's if you are battle shocked and you have 4 plus grots, roll 1d3. You become unbattle shocked and kill that many grots. Okay, just to make it clear. Goodness, that was so little and blurry that I messed that up. All right. Chat's gonna help me through this blurry page I had. This is one of the blurrier ones. Sorry. Then we go to Gretchen. They're still T2, 1 wound to pop, leadership A, blah blah blah. So what we really just only care to see is what their data sheet ability is. I can barely see. Goodness. I think I'm gonna have to look at another picture of those grots. Goodness. Let me look at another picture of those grots. Goodness, that was hideous. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this up, guys. Bear with me for like 25 seconds, 30 seconds. I think I can pull up. I think that was okay. That was the detachments. Goodness, where are the grots? Huh. I guess I'm not seeing these grots ones from these. Oh, here are the Meganums. Okay, that was a weird sideways. All right, hard to see some of those. I'll try to look for the runs. Someone maybe can DM me real quick or get a better look at these runs. That was hideous. Let me get the Painboy real quick. So Painboy T5, he still has 3 wounds. He's a support. In your command phase, the unit heals 3 wounds. So he just heals maybe 3 boys. It says catch dat bit once per battle. When this model has the crude surgery ability, D3 number of models is healed. Okay, so he can also heal D3 with his Grot Orderly like he used to. That's cool. And then he still has an Urti Syringe, which is anti-infantry 4+, devastating infantry extra attacks, which is still D6. And then he has the Doc Tools, which are 3 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 10, -2 damage. Pretty much the same. Then we go to the Pain Boss. So the Pain Boss is the one that's actually getting people kind of excited here because of his data sheet ability. So he is now support, which makes way more sense because he used to be a freaking leader that was really freaking annoying. Sorry guys, I'm making that. He doesn't have access to the Feel No Pain anymore. He has a Snagger Claw that's anti-vehicle 4+. He has one more wound than the Pain Boy. But the interesting part here is push that Bic back in the command phase once per battle per unit. In your command phase, you select one friendly beast snag unit within 6, and he heals up to 3 wounds. So there's a snagga. That means it's Twig Hog Boys can be done also. Hardy Bionics. Attacks that target this enemy unit that have strength greater than this unit's toughness are -1 to wound. Now, the cool thing here is it says running with the herd. When this model is attached to a mounted unit, this it does not have infantry. Now it has mobile and mounted, and it has +4 to the movement. So the pain boss will default move 10. He'll be attached to the Squighog Boys. He'll still have all their keywords. He'll give them -1 to wound, and then he'll be able to heal them once per game. All right. So that's what this pain boss does. So for certain points, that may be pretty cool and kind of interesting. Make it easier for him to like him to make contact with maybe certain units and shenanigans of movements and pile-ins by having a little infantry unit easier in there as well. But we don't see no Feel No Pain on here. So not under his datasheet abilities or cores or nothing like that. So it seems like they took that away from him, and it looks like they took that away from the Pain Boy. So neither Feel No Pain's around there. So Orks are losing raw power on that too. So for all the people that are crying and freaking out and complaining about Orks and where they're at, the type of Orks that they've been facing and that we've been playing are simply just not going to be around anymore in that same way. We've lost so many of those power potentials, like Gaz, critical 5+ lethal sustain, Gaz leading units getting extra attacks, units getting critical 5+, units getting on. Now, I'm not saying we're not strong. I'm not saying we don't do damage. I am. I'm just saying they have a completely misunderstanding of how our damage is going to be delivered now. And it's going to be more of combined arms. And it's going to be far less dice. And when it's less dice, that means you're more subject to averages, which Orks don't like to see. We usually want volume of dice so that we can offset the averages. It's because we don't trust them, because we usually have such horrible stats. So there's a lot to be said here. I mean, as much as I'm excited, don't let anyone out there right now be twisted and freaking out. Like right now, I love Morty and Glory. Trust me. I genuinely love Morty and Glory. But some of the stuff he's thinking and saying about Orks might be a little outlandish or overthought or overstimulated, because he's still extremely worried about his armies and 10th edition armies. And I get it. It's a good understanding in that way. But at some point, guys, we got to accept new rules and new strengths so we can move over to a new edition. If we keep trying to move backwards and nerfing new codexes when they're released, and we nerf them, and then and then the new one releases after it is also strong, quote unquote, but now there's nothing around to fight it because the only other codex that could possibly fight it has been nerfed to the dust, and then it stays, and then it gets power crept, right, quote unquote, like the NIDs in the past. These are all symptoms of the community eating itself like an Ouroboros by asking GW to activate its sledgehammer of nerfs, right? So I'm not saying we can't be tweaked so we can exist, but there needs to be some kind of balance here where the community doesn't automatically freak out and then assume everything's too much, instead of just letting the game develop and really focus on the real problem here, which is GW taking so long to release these data sheets, these codexes, and these rules, right? We still have to look back on the source. The source is GW, not us, and not for having these rules. The source is GW for intentionally delaying giving everybody else more rules and making them feel that type of way. So let's focus on the big picture instead of the minutia of, oh my God, we should get rid of Orks so we can have fun. Like, I don't think that's conducive and long-term plan. And we've seen it hasn't been, right? I called out last time when the Mordaka was sus 2 and people nerfed it. And I said, keep that same energy. They did not. They Ouroboros themselves again as the community, and they never learned. So hopefully people start learning and paying attention and focusing on the real ways we can retain fun in the game. Because some of this stuff is just straight fun. Sure, some of it is really, really strong, like being riled up, but being fast isn't necessarily like gonna ruin all of 40K, especially if we can't be as fast and then also be gas, mob, bomb running into you like we used to. We just simply don't have that anymore. So sorry that little rant. I just got a little I was just like, goodness, dude. Some of the stuff we just straight up really did lose things, even though we gained a lot of things too. Really did lose it, and it's fine, but people need to keep that whole context in the big picture. And by the way, there's no shit on Morian. Morian's awesome. I love him. He literally helped the channel, and I like him a lot as a person. Also, a person I like is Aaron. For goodness, Aaron's been around for a super long time. But that being said, 50 Wall Tactic memberships, guys. Keeping the wall going. 2 hours in, we got to get somewhere around 200 memberships already given out. We spawned 200 new Ork Boy members on this stream alone. Goodness, that's how you know we're getting some member streams out there, and that helps everybody else that's out there. I do Gaze of Mork. I got my after action report coming out that I did where I won an RTT with 12 cans. So much stuff out here. I was ahead of the game already on flavor and theme with that list, so you guys are going to like it. So hopefully you guys give it a watch and tell me I can improve them, because Aaron ultimately said, "You suck." Yeah, I do suck because I let burners be taken away. I really should have invaded GW's factory and stopped them from doing that. But thank you very much for that, Aaron. Thank you to everyone here. If you're doing a good job, if I'm liking it, leave a like so that this keeps going, and we'll probably edit this down to be smaller. But let's see what more data sheets we can get through. I'll go a little faster because it's pretty late. So we have Big Meks shock attack gun. He did change now, so he's still 60-inch range. He is a leader still. He has heavy. He has blast 1 built in. He's D3 plus 3, so less random, I guess, in the sense that he's going to be horrible. He's still hitting on 5s, which is interesting, instead of 4s, like we assume Meks might be. Looks like he's strength 12, from what I can see here. -4, and it's D6 plus 1 damage. That's pretty cool. And then we also remember we looked at the other detachments. He has access to possibly getting like Sustain 2, for example, or Torrents on this profile, and then blowing himself up. He can ignore cover like all the big Meks, and then he has support Shaka. While this model is within 3 of friendly Ork infantry unit, excluding Big Mek with shock attack gun, this model has lone op. So in theory, you can just set this guy up on a terrain piece as a lone op somewhere, just running around the battlefield on his own, and he is a leader and not support, so he can do that. And then he just runs around and shoots people as a lone op and has lone op from another lone op. And then when he's riled up, he's gonna have sustain 1, and then he always says ignore cover, because this just says this unit's range attacks. It doesn't say when he's leading, so he can just act as his own independent like gun platform, pretty much. So that's fun. On top of everything else we talked about, so that's pretty cool. It's like an in solo last cannon thing. Then we have the Mek, this baby Mek. His Slugga, it still shoots pretty decent, flat 3 damage now. And then his Mek tool sucks, so he's not good at melee at all. He's considered support now, which is weird, right? Because the whole thing is we want him to be by himself so he can walk around and give +1 to hit to stuff. So if he's support, we better hope he has a diverse list of stuff he can support to, or it's going to really hinder his ability to buff stuff. Now, it says this unit's range attacks, ignore cover. So whatever he's plugged into is ignoring cover. I would love to see that on Killicans, for example. Clever, known, is in your movement phase, at the start or the end of your movement phase, Ork only vehicle model, excluding aircraft or Titanic, within 3, that unit heals D3, that unit has +1 to hit. So now we know for a fact that is awesome. If we've seen the Stampa is not getting +1 to hit from the baby Mek anymore because it excludes Titanic. All right. So remember, unless you can attach to him or something, no, even then it still excludes it. So remember, like, I was talking to someone I love very much on the Discord where they were like, I tried the Stampa, he's crazy, all this stuff like that. And the same for like people that I appreciate too, who were like, I played 50 games of 40K already in 11th edition, but they didn't have like the Codex, they had half the rules, whatever. And then they were making declarations that they essentially had to take all of them back because they didn't line up anymore because they had half the information. Same thing here when people were talking about the Stampa being riled up, being broken, blah, 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 freaking out. They were already on paper doing the math that the baby Mek was giving that Stampa +1 to hit. So though I'm not saying it's trash, but I'm saying that this is why you always need all the info. Never let people rile you up. Haha. Play on words there, because people love to react without knowing all the info just so that they can be the first one to make an opinion, but the first opinion isn't always right? We learned that as kids. So that being said, we'll see how this actually works in game. Like, what are you gonna do, give it to a battle wagon, stuff like that? I don't really know, but maybe you give it to this Docker rig, for example, right? Because he's support. So then the Mek was support, for example. Sorry. Now we look at the Big Mac Docker rig. So I'm looking at the Big Mac Docker rig, and he does say he's a character down here in the keywords. And it doesn't say leader, but it does say he's a character. Okay, but just saying. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a typo or whatever. We'll see what he's leading, stuff like that, how he's leading, or maybe he's just meant to be a solo character by himself. That's cool too. So Big Mac Docker rig, he has all his normal, at least that basic stat line. Then his ranged weapon and his blitzer cannon, he does not have built-in sustain anymore. On that, it now has built-in ignores cover and lethal, which honestly is pretty solid too, because in his data sheet abilities, when he's riled up, he still gets sustained. So personally, when you look at that after action report I did, I used Docker rigs and I was constantly giving them sustain and lethal when I would shoot them, and it made them tremendous into infantry. So the fact that they're always going to get it and they're going to ignore cover is going to be quite helpful. They don't have heavy, so you're not going to be able to stack that on them, but the ignores cover makes it so you don't have to worry about always being heavy, which I prefer because moving heavy is kind of hard anyways. And we didn't see any like easy ignore cover benefits, right, when we were looking through this. Then for his multi rocket busters, he ignores cover. He has lethals there as well. He didn't have that before. Still 6 shots, and then now they're strength 10 as they were. He still gets sustained, like I said, and then when he's not shooting a monster vehicle, he gets +6 attacks. So that's pretty sweet. Then we go to Death Killer War Trike, toughness 6. He's 9 wounds still, leadership 6. All that's still the same. Little less on his ranged weapons. He has the boomsticks, and then he has the Snagger Claw, so not all the flamers and Melta, whatever. But he does have that as melee now. So he has multiple melee weapons. He has a burner one, which is like a cleave for extra attacks. Then he has a cutting one, which is extra attacks of just 1 at strength 10 -3 for d6 +2. So I much prefer that than trying to shoot with him, because shooting with him, he just has no range, right? I mean, sorry, a capability to hit reliably. I'd rather he just punches. Then Snagger Claw on Cleave 2 gives him more volume, which he's personally never had access to, but he definitely lost strength. He's only strength 7 now. But he's sitting on 2s. Then we go into his data sheet abilities. Now he has Deadly Demise, okay? And he has Deadly Demise even though he is not a vehicle. He's still considered mounted. He is a leader, and then he gets back to the race. In your movement phase, at the start or end of the unit's move, you could pick a friendly Speed Freaks unit within 6. That unit and any embarked units no longer have battle shock and are riled up. That unit, and it looks like it's set. I'm reading to make sure because it's blurry. You guys make sure I'm reading this correctly on the trike, but it says 1 friendly Speed Freak unit within 6 and any units embarked within that unit no longer battle shocks and are riled up. So in theory, this can go up to a Speed Freak unit and then make it riled up, which is cool. That's way more thematic. He's making bikers and all this different stuff, and then the war bosses are doing it to other units. So I like that. And since this is a different ability, it means if you supplement your list with a trike and a war boss, it means the war boss can do one, and then the trike can do one, because they're different abilities, even though they're both once per battle round, right? So the trike can do it to someone, the war boss can do it to someone. Then in the following turn, the trike can do it to someone, the war boss can do it to someone. Then you can declare the army-wide WAAAGH. Then you can declare Gaz's WAAAGH. Boom. 4 turns of WAAAGH. And then he has +1 to advance rolls. Yes, that's what I was saying too to the chat. Yeah, he does get riled up because he can still do riled up, because it's a different riled up than the war bosses one. Yep. So everybody, we're all tracking the same thing. That's good. And then let's see what other data sheets I can see. Looks like I got through a lot of those. Got through those. Let's see. I got 1, 2. Goodness, there's still a lot of stuff, huh? Oh, okay, I did that one. That's a duplicate. Okay, it looks like I got about 2 or 3 pages left. Okay. Gotta get that next wind. Oh shoot, you guys couldn't even see me. Hey, I have to catch that next gust of wind here, huh? All right, so let's look at the last couple data sheets I got like 2, 3 more slide pages of data sheets. Hopefully I make it. Goodness, 3 hours? That's freaking wild. All right, so Beast Boss, leave a like, guys. I'm barely hanging on. So Beast Boss, toughness 6, 4 up save, 6 wounds, blah blah blah. All right, shooter, all that stuff. He does have a built up 6 of feeling pain on himself at least still. So his melee weapons, Claw and Choppa, been rolled up into one. He has built-in sustain 2 versus vehicles and monsters. So he's flat 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 6, -2, 2 attacks. That's his profile. So he's always 6 attacks, always strength 12. So he's always power clawed up. But when he fights a vehicle or a monster, he's getting sustain 2. And then, like we know, if he's in Snagas, he'll be AP 3. Once per battle, he does the same War Boss ability, and then units that he's rolling, that he's using, have +1 to hit. I'm happy to see that. Something has to have +1 to hit and a bunch of volume. Plus, we have access to sustain 2, which I really, really like to see. Snaggers right now need to make sure they find their place in the wall. We have to see what they actually can do and what their power is. I don't know if I have the data sheet around here. But that would be, I'm looking forward to seeing that data sheet around here from the Snagas. Another thing that we can notice is how he's T6, right? So he has a built-in 5-up, but he's also T6 with 6 wounds. So maybe all Snagga boys are going to be T6. I'm not sure, but we'll see about that. Yeah, we said that. We said it's once per round. Maybe I'm misspeaking from saying the same thing over and over again, but I've been saying it's 1 per battle round. So if he's still alive round 2, he can do it again. But if 2 of him are around at the same time, they both cannot do it. So I'll keep repeating it because I know new people are joining, and I've been speaking for almost 3 hours, 2.5 now. So if I wordsmith it up, I'm sorry. I do mess that up sometimes, get fat tongued. So yeah, that being said, I think I hit everything on his data sheet. And that looks like a 6-up Feel No Pain. Maybe it's a 5-up. Now let's look at Zagrat Wartsnagga, who used to be the MVP of everything. Is he playable? So he's still his own T5. He has a 6-up invul now. He didn't have that before. He doesn't have Feel No Pain, though. He has normal pistol. He has his melee, the grabba, 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 7, -2, 2 damage. All right. Now super runts. They're always riled up. This unit's scrawny shivs weapons have +1 attack, +1 weapon skill, and +1 strength. So nothing like they used to have before. So he's way worse than what he used to be. He has heard keyword. We'll see what he is now in points. I see him completely worse than he used to be. All right. So now WAAAGH. WAAAGH is looking pretty intimidating. He still has full throttle. He still has his full throttle ability. Let's see. Let me make sure that those didn't change. Turbo, this unit. When this unit selected to make an advance and charge, that move does not. The turbo engine, shock, attempt. In your command phase, this unit unengaged. You can play the reserves, the same. And then in your movement phase, the unit is selected to move. Is the unit unengaged? It can use a Pulsa Jet move. Where's the Pulsa Jet move? Am I missing something here? What the heck is a Pulsa Jet move? Is it still the auto? Oh, it's another page. All right. Probably just auto 6 moving like it used to be. I'm just going to assume that because I don't see their page. It says right there, page 121. So I don't know somewhere. So he's still same T, invuln, toughness, leadership, da-da-da. Same grabba shooting, same Gatling. Let's see, assault, lethal. So now his Gatling is lethals now also and sustain. Cool. That's sick. He's still deadly demise, deep strike, lone op. Awesome. His melee's good, and then his bolt. Okay, cool. His exhaust is now cleave 1, so he gets even more attacks. Fix It is the same, but now Draga is cleave 2 and then lance. So his main weapon now gets even more attacks if he fights more mobs of units. I'm happy to see that because, like I said, I think we're losing a lot of volume. Okay, and I think I can check the throttle thing. I think I have the page for that too, so I'll go to that. So he got even better in combat, and he got better at shooting. Pretty sweet to see. If I missed anything, let me know. Full throttle, there's a data sheet ability we'll look at that'll tell us the ability. I have it on a different page, but I don't want to get lost in the sauce looking. I'll find it at the end or something. Yeah, because right now let me see if I could find it. I think someone might have sent something. I got unstable energies. Oh, actually, yeah. I actually do have this. So in this corner, it says it. Pulsa Jet move. Maximum distance plus 18. If eligible to make this move, you can make Pulsa, rolling a D6, moving. Ignore distances. You can move through all models. You move through terrain. After moving, you must be unengaged. Until the end of this turn, your unit is not eligible to declare a charge or an action. Until the start of your next turn, that target Until the start of your next turn, attacks the target unit minus 1 hit. Okay, cool. So if he does use the Pulse Jet move for WAAAGH, he cannot declare a charge after. So it's D6 plus 18. So that means that he cannot move, do all the different stuff, and then declare a charge. Okay. So he moves very, very quickly and can shoot and do all that, but he can't charge. And typically that's what we always wanted. I know personally, I always use that ability. So that's cool for movement, but I personally was really in love with just straight moving through stuff and crashing into it and hitting. So I'm sure people will be happy that they don't have to deal with that as much anymore. Still pretty strong, still good. So let me run through this for data sheets. I don't mean to belittle stuff, guys. Trust me, I'm just trying to make this under 3 hours because I'm running out of juice. So then we get here. So war bikers, I had to talk about them because they did change. So war bikers, here, let me make this a little better. And yeah, so he'd be -1 to hit when he does that. That'd be cool. It'd be cool if you got to move and the enemy can't get to him. Wait, it's D6 plus 18. 18? Okay, because if I can, I don't want to go back to it. If you go back to what I had up on screen and you pause it, but if you don't, what it said was at the top under the throttle thing, it said maximum of 18. So even though it says D6 plus 18, I think that it limits you to 18. Oh yeah, and they have that combat disembark. I'll get to that when in a little bit. But let me finish with this biker thing. So the biker thing, they're still T6. They're the same save, same invuln. They have the same wound count. They don't have 5 wounds like we were wondering. Their profile ability now, instead of the AP, they get +1 strength, +1 damage on the charge, which is pretty sweet because you're gonna be able to rile them up like we've seen. They don't have a power claw anymore. Now the knob has a 4 attack, hitting on 3, strength 5, -2, 2 damage, custom choppa. So he doesn't hit as hard. But they can be battle line, and then they still have like their volume of shots, and then the knob has a dual combi rocket that has assault built in, which is a rocket with strength 10. Yeah, video could be stuff I missed. Yeah, exactly. If I miss stuff, people, whatever, we get better pictures, go over it when it's clear, cool. I can highlight something that's more important, and I wanted to be the first one on this. And also, it gives everyone who is going to work tomorrow and doesn't want to read everything and missed all this and was too busy, some way to get all this information at least to 90% to 95% accuracy, and then they can figure out all the rest throughout the week. So hopefully it's still beneficial to everybody. But like I said, they're stronger for the strength and the melee. That'll be cool. They're already base strength 5, so that means you guys will get strength 6. So war bikers opening up fights against like T3 units or even other T5 armies would be pretty sweet. So I'm pretty excited that with the war bikers, we'll see what points they're at, but I think those are decent changes for the most part. Then we go to tracks. Tracks actually did change. So word tracks, the thing's not called a rocket anymore. That's cool and everything. And now their melee is 2 damage. But in reality, what's cool is that when they're within 3 of a Speed Freaks unit, this thing considered it has lone op now. And then also in your shooting phase, when this shoots an enemy unit, when Speed Freak units shoot that unit, they get lethals against it. Plus, you could put 2 of these into 1 unit at the same time. So pretty sweet. It doesn't have any of the things we thought they would have. They thought it would have support and -1 to hit, all this different stuff. But so yeah, they don't have any of that. Now they just support stuff. So they'll shoot you, they'll shoot the enemy, and then when they hit the enemy, that enemy becomes rusted or crusted, whatever the ability is, and then all other Speed Freak units that target that unit will be getting lethal when they hit it. So he himself won't get lethals, but he gives people access to lethals. Then we have the Def Koptas. So Def Koptas, T4, 4 wounds, 4 up armor. They have the deep strike in your shooting phase. This unit makes an ingress move. This turn, this unit's range attacks have +1 to the hit roll. We also see another way they can get +1 to hit roll. So there's a chance that they make an ingress and then they use that other ability. I don't remember it, but get +1 to hit from that. I think it was a strat or something. So that can make sure that they're still hitting on 5 pluses because they'll be hitting on 6 if something is in cover. And then you offset. Oh, they're hitting on 4s then, huh? So they'll come in from ingress, shoot at something that's in cover. So then it'll make them 6s. But the ingress thing ability from the data sheet will make it 5s, and then the strat from the Flyboyz Detachment will make it 4s. Maybe, yeah. And then aerial maneuver. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, this unit, if it's unengaged, can be placed into strategic reserve. So it's just a straight up datasheet ability. They can go back into the air. That's kind of cool. Has a bunch of different rockets. One of them has lethals. They don't have Twin Link anymore. Then they have custom Mega Blasters. They have hazardous, and then they're lethal as well. For melee, they still have their choppas, it looks like, and they have their spinning blades. And it looks like they have choppa, rocket launcher, slugger, and plenty blades for every model. So it looks like these guys have 7 punches per model on here, but they used to have built-in 6, and the wall would be 7 anyways. And they lost 1 pip of strength because on the wall they'd be strength now 6, and now they're strength 5. So these guys generally lost some offensive potential, and they're taking hazardous cleave. So that's kind of weird. So they didn't really get better melee, but they got better shooting for sure. So that covers those gets. If I missed anything. Oh yeah, Defcop is mounted. Actually, yeah, someone point that out to me. Yeah, thank you. And Devcopters are mounted no longer. They have fly, they're speed freaks, and they're mounted. Thank you. I'll make sure I point that out. These are mounted also, and these are mounted. Sweet. All right, cool. Good. I'm glad I didn't miss that. See, things I could have missed. So those guys were mounted. Let's see. Any other last things? I think there's a couple more data sheets. Oh, right here. We have Mazrog Scragbag. So Mazrog Scragbag, he's not toughness 9, 3 up armor save, 10 wounds. He still has his 5 up, feel no pain. He still has the same ranged weapon. His basic melee weapon now, when he's not for the Champa Jaw, is anti-vehicle monster 3+. It's 3 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 7, -2, 4 damage. Then his Gut Ripper standard is cleave 1, 6 attacks, hitting on, I think it's 2s. Strength 6, -2, 2 damage. And then his Gut Ripper for the Hunter ability has built-in lethals. Then it's 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 12, -2, d6 +1. So he's absolutely crumping the monsters and vehicles. When this model is destroyed in the fight phase, on a 2+, he still gets to fight. This unit's melee attack that targeted vehicle monsters can reroll the entire wound roll. Way better that he can do that. And yeah, he has 2 AP now. So mind you, all of this Gut Ripper and on his actual Mazrog himself, both his profiles are -2 AP. And then in Snaggas, it's -3 AP. And he's rerolling wounds. While this unit's within 3 of a friendly Snagga unit, he has loan out. So you can get loan out from pigs, he can get loan out from Snagga boys, not when it's other monsters or vehicles. And then we move on to the Snagga boss. We looked at his enhancements. We seen that he can get +1 toughness, so he can go up to T10 and stuff like that. He still has his feel no pain. He can give the War Boss riled up ability to people, and he gives +1 to charge. So he's actually quite considerate. He can also be a lone op, but he's not a leader. Neither of these guys are. He has a standard Choppa, which is strength 6. Cleave Choppa, which is hitting on 2, strength 6, -2, 2 damage. He has a Hunter one, which is 6 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 12, -2, d6 damage. And then the monster Jaws are anti-vehicle 3+, extra attacks, 3s, hitting on 3s, strength 7, -2, 3 damage. So he got an increase to his potential in fighting as well. I'm happy to see it because he used to be really underwhelming, and now he can actually crump to some degree. Now, yeah, I did show the flashback data sheet, and then someone was saying me also make sure I show the Mega Knobs. I have a sideways shown Mega Knobs data sheet, so if you can send me a data sheet where it's the correct orientation, and I'll end off with that, and any other data sheets, then that would help. So like the Storm Boys, the Mega Knobs, any other data sheet. I think the War Track, the War Buggy, I have that one too. I can show some of those too, but if I'm missing any of those, send them to me, Arcane, real quick in a direct message. So that I can actually fill those up. Because right now they're sideways, so I'm going all the normal stuff I have now. So yeah. And yeah, I'll check my DMs in a little bit. I'm trying to get through the ones I have. I think these are some of the last data sheets I have that are the correct orientation and everything. So let's talk about the Hunter rigs. Big changes on the Hunter rigs. All right. Oop. Big changes on the Hunter rigs here. So I can rotate. All right. Who's this? Who's this all ran? Oh, this dude, Custode. Oh, who let a beaky little runt get in here, dude? Can't rotate it. Maybe you should operate a live stream and see if you can do all that in real time also, huh? Spoken like a true Imperium git. Taking L's, but always yapping. All right, so we got Hunter rig, where the Hunter rig is changed drastically, right? So in exciting ways. And we'll see what happens. But one, I want to say he's still a monster, not a vehicle. He's a transport and he's a wagon. So he still has all those keywords. I got to hit those first. He also has Feel No Pain of a 5+ built in now at all times. That's crazy. And then he's firing deck 11. He has a weird datasheet ability, which is fully loaded Butcher Boys, which is he gets +2 attacks for each model that's embarked, up to 22 additional attacks. So he can hold 22 Snaggas. So if he's holding a whole unit of Snaggas, his Butcher Boy profile is getting 22 Snagga Boy attacks. That's insane, and I freaking love it. I'm here for it 100%. You're going to run up in there and be like, oh, Anti-Monster 4+, 22 attacks, -2 AP because I'm Beast Snagga unit. So that's sweet. And he has a Feel No Pain. Man, this guy, he's definitely not 145 points anymore, huh? Yeah, someone sent me the Gork and Mark data sheets. I have them somewhere and I've seen them, but I just want to make sure I get them easier. Another thing he has, when this unit makes a crushing charge, they have -1 to the crushing impact ability. So since he has a Feel No Pain, he can tank the mortals himself. And as for his own fighting, everything's pretty much the same. Except he actually lost an AP because he had gained one during the addition on Savage Hooves and Hooves. Now he's back to just 1. So we lost an AP there. Again, GW taking stuff here and there as well. And we won't get extra attacks from the wall or extra strength. So everything else is the same. Oh, and he lost Lance. Oh, no, he doesn't. He has it on that. And he has a built-up 6+ invuln. So he didn't have an invuln before, and he didn't have a 5+ Feel No Pain. So the kill rig overall has just gotten way more durable and way more contestant with the Battle Wagon. And then we can talk about the Hunter rig. So the Hunter rig 2 also has a 5+ Feel No Pain. He has unstable energies, and he's a psyker. And he can hold Snagga Boys. So now Word Tower is Psychic Torrent, but only 1 shot, strength 12, -3, flat 5 damage. We have the Butcher Boys. We still have the Savage, all that stuff. And then we go to Psychic abilities. So when he does the first Psychic ability that he rolls for, which is the Beast Scent, that disembarking unit that targets a monster/vehicle at +1 to wound on that unit. So if Snagga Boys get out, then you give them +1 to wound. So let's say you have that strength 12 beast boss with 10 boys. You're gonna give that beast boss +1 to wound. So he's likely gonna be winning them on 3s or 2s. He's gonna have sustained 2s. You're gonna give additional AP if you're playing the right detachment. And then all your Snagga Boys are gonna run there and get their punches as well with all +1 to wound. So it'd be pretty sick. And then for his Warp Path ability, in the fight phase, you roll this, and this unit has lethal hits and psychic. So again, they can ignore modifiers, and they'll have lethal hits instead of +1 strength. So that's pretty sweet. Nonetheless, these guys got a big glow up. They have an invul now, and they have a Feel No Pain. So pretty awesome nonetheless. Both of these rig type units are very, very highly appealing. And then showing me. Let me see what other data sheets. If I missed anything, we're closing. I'm making it around to almost all of them, guys. I know there's like Killicans I wanted to show maybe, and then Mega Knobs. To be honest, I might not do the flyers. To be honest, I might have to hit flyers on a different day. Let's see. So, thank you to Bad Dog and Arcane. They both sent me that, and some other guys sent me some. So thank you very much. I picked it twice and I lost it. Oh shit. Wall energy. Stay with me. All right, cool. I did do flash kits earlier. Yes. Here we go. All right, so we get the Mega Knobs. Now I'll just break it to you. I'm disappointed. I don't like it. It's kind of annoying. These dudes are 3 moves, and they don't have a Feel No Pain, and they're not T7. Really weird. So I haven't lost hope because I do think we're getting a new kit. When you get a new kit, you're going to get a new data sheet with it. So just be happy they're not gone and all that. So nonetheless, there are some cool stuff. All the range profiles are a lot more applicable and interesting now. You could be using them. They have a torrent custom close shooting 6 inches, so D3+3 for all that. Some small infantry units if you're assaulting them. Your kill saws are now flat damage 3. And then their ability of when this unit's riled up, you get +1 from it. That's pretty cool. I would generally want these to have gas near them because I would like to stack +1 to hit to offset an enemies as well, if possible, because just hitting on this is pretty bad. But if you're playing Bully Boys, then you can re-roll the entire hit roll, for example. So Mega Knobs with 3 attacks, strength 10, -2, 3 damage, re-rolling the hit roll is cool. I really miss them being strength 12, but we do have Twin Link for that. So if you like that, like I did, you might stick to it. And then you have the option of the power calls, which +1 to hit means they're hitting on 2s. So for straight volume, that's pretty nice. And they're always sitting at the strength 10. I like. Another cool rule that's in here is the attacks that target this unit have -1 AP. So Mega Knobs have a built-in additional armor of built-in armor of contempt. So that's nice to see because we don't have cover and all that stuff anymore. So Mega Knobs, when they have built-in armor of contempt as they are, that will give them somewhat durability. And it is at all times, so even in melee, which typically, you know, it was at cover or something, but being able to just shug off all -1 attacks or all my make -2 AP attacks, -1 AP would be pretty awesome in my opinion, and it's happening at all times, no conditions. So that's a pretty sweet ability. I'm digging the Mega Knobs. Not amazing, groundbreaking unit or data sheet, but it is something pretty sweet nonetheless. So still stuff to be excited about because you're actually taking armor saves here. So they can play that more of a role. If you want like a blitzkrieg kind of destructive unit, you play the knobs, right? And if I'm missing any other units, guys, we're coming to a close here. Make sure you let me know. And I'll try to get somebody to send it to me or cover it. So now we're going to the Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut. So I'll say they both have the same data sheet ability, roughly, of Gut Hatch, which is in your movement phase. When this unit makes a normal move, that unit embark this can make an assault disembark move. So yeah, right now, maybe send me real quick, Arcane, that page of the assault disembark thing, because I have it, but I just want to reference it really easily. But this means that if this unit moves, that the units within it can disembark and still make a charge. So that means your walkers can now walk through a terrain piece and then allow someone to charge that gets out of them. So that's kind of cool because they also have super heavy walker. We did see that like Dreadmob and all these guys and such, so that's one thing. We have toughness 12 still. Now they have a 2-up armor. They did not have that before. As for the weapons, they have different profiles for the ranged ones. They have a torrent at point blank, and then they have the 20, which has lethal hits. It might be better to do it some situations because you have towering. So if you're going into like T6 or 7 infantry, it might be worth just letting it shoot it. Then you have the rockets that you still have on there, and then a scorcher. As for his melee, he's cleave 3 at 6 attacks. Hitting on 3, strength 18, 3-6. I didn't like his previous cleave profile anyways, his sweep. So I'll take this as a win. And then he gets reroll hit rolls of 1 when he's fighting. So I like to see that as well. So he'll be pretty sweet if he gets wrapped up. Then we look at the Morkanaut. Very similar besides his shooting. Now for his shooting, he can choose his big shots with their strength 12 -2 flat 4, and they're hitting on 4s. Or he can, and he still gets hazardous, and then he has blast, then he has some rockets, and then his claw is cleave 2. He can reroll 1s at range also, and he always has a 5-up invuln. So I think he's a little underwhelming personally, but hey, it is what it is. If you guys like him, I think I'm pretty disappointed in the super heavy walker category on what their data sheets actually look like, and what the detachments say they can do with them. Personally, from what I've seen, but we haven't seen. All right, and then we have a couple more data sheets here that I missed that I'm going to cover. So we have the war buggies. Now the war buggies have been consolidated from the custom Booster Blaster and the Boomdaka Snazwagon. Now are just known as war buggies, from what we can see. Might apply to the scrapjet as well, but we're not sure. Now, from what it's showing here, you got a bunch of different profiles for shooting. Some are lethal, assault, sustain. Some are volume. They kind of spread it out like the rivet gun, which is obviously what it used to have, or the Meks shooter, which is the other one. So depending on which one you shoot, you can which one you own, you can choose that profile. Cool, and they simplified it. I think that's fine. The melee profile, they gave it cleave and hits on 3s. That is an improvement. It used to hit on 4s and didn't have cleave, right? What's cool though is that drive-by shooting, excluding vehicles and monsters, you can select one in your movement phase. You select one visible enemy unit. Within 6 of this unit, the enemy unit cannot be targeted with the fire Overwatch stratagem until the end of the turn. So if you can get in the right place, if you have like a speed wall style thing where you can still get really fast in the right spot conditionally, you can turn off units ability to Overwatch. That would be sick if flamers become really annoying or popular in the game as they currently are, and you can just run around turning off flamers in certain matchups. You just bring one of these and you're like, oh, salamanders, you have that really cool unit that you want to Overwatch with? Nah. Besides the Redeemer, of course, he's still going to always be able to do it, but still cool to have that as a different ability. And then here's the Pain Boss. I think we hit that. This is more clear. There's a Run Herder. I want to see the Run Herder data sheet clear. I don't think anything else here I missed. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I hit everything there. So, and then the Rugged Trick Squid Buggy, the other one that appeared. Rugged Truck Squig Buggies, T7, 4 up armor, 9 wounds, 6 up invuln. Shot off. The Squig Launcher ignores cover. It's not indirect anymore. D6 plus 6. Hits on 4s. Strength 5 minus 1, 2 damage. Some melee, demise wall, and then Squig Barrage in your shooting phase. When this unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by the Squig Launcher units. The enemy unit is covered in squigs. Until the end of the phase, this unit is covered in squigs as -1 to the hit rolls. So you can give -1 to hit with this unit. So they're both acting as like a debuff capability. Yeah. So this is not a buff to ourselves. I don't know why you're thinking that. This stops stuff from doing overwatches. So if you can stand next to the enemy unit. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So overall, that's I think I hit of the data sheets besides the flyers, which honestly I'm just not. I don't have the energy for that. It's kind of late. I have to go somewhere. But if I missed anything, you guys, right now, who's here, let me know. I'm going to review the chats, the live chats. But if I missed anything, thanks to Goff Warboss, it looks like he sent me something as well. It looks like, oh, clearer pictures of the actual stuff. Okay, that's way better. Okay, can I zoom in though? I got way clearer. I mean, it's at the end of the stream, so I guess it's over now, but and I can't really control it that well. But all right, but I would send at least a link. So thank you there, Goff, too, as well. But I don't think there's any data sheets I missed. Guys, let me know if I missed any data sheets. I'm checking all of the converse or the messages. It looks like I hit just about everything. I was trying to use the Big Mac. I'll have to go back and check him. All right, anything I missed? Did I miss anything, you guys? Nope. Jack's doesn't look like. Oh, the Death Shred. Yeah, I actually do. I did see the Death Shred. I did, so I know I have that somewhere. Come on, guys. Where's that Death Shred? Come on, where's that Death Shred? I knew I'd seen him. How could I lose my Death Shred? The Death Shred's a little weird. He got built-in -1 damage, and then he always has 2 claws now for the Death Shred. And then you can change like his range profiles. So those were some of his changes. But where is the Death Shred? Anybody? Death Shred? DF. There he is. All right. Cool. Thanks, chat. See, this is why we do this live. Shout out to live chat. Here. -1 damage. Model equipped with 1 big shooter, 1 deadly claws, 1 scorcher. This model big shooter can replace 1 extra claw or one of these. This model scorcher can replace 1 extra claw. T9, all the same wounds, invulns, all that. I think his main range profiles are quite underwhelming. I don't know how they're going to make him interesting in that way. And then for his melee, he has extra claws, which are +1, and then his actual dread claws are cleave, 5, -2, strength 12, 3s. So, yeah, I would like if he would get like +1 hit somehow, but yeah, it is what it is. So the cool thing is he has -1 damage, doesn't do mortals anymore. So you guys let me know if you think that's good or worth it. Other than that, I don't think there's any more data sheets that we have access to or rules that I missed. There are some data sheets I don't know, and I'm not going over every single flyer. I mean, some are mortals. I guess I can skim it because I love people. Docket jets can get +1 to hit if they don't have fly with their profiles. WAAAGH, he gets a you have a 5 up invuln, and it looks like you get +1 to wound maybe when he's targeting monsters vehicles. And then he has his profiles, which looks like they're hitting on 4s. So that could be more appealing for the WAAAGH Blasta, right? I know I have one, so if I can make that work, that'd be cool. He looks like he has some decent little shooting profile. Yeah, and then for the burner bomber, units of 3 mortals, that unit cannot be hidden. Oh, okay. So this burner, if it moves, okay, at the end of your opponent's fight phase, select one visible enemy unit, excluding a lone operative, that's within 36 inches, I think, and roll d6 on a 2+. Enemy unit suffers d3 mortals. That unit cannot be hidden. Range attacks to target that unit. Ignore cover. Okay, so in theory, this burner bomber maybe might have some super cool synergistic shooting potential. All right. For the I know my flyer lovers. I did this specifically for the flyer lovers. So leave a like if I did good. We made it to the 3-hour mark you get. I'll see if I missed any more of the super chats. I was trying to hit them live as we were going. This was hot and heavy, you guys. It's 3 hours, probably one of my longest streams in a very long time. But I did it for you, for all the guys that are going to be working tomorrow, that need to be catch up on the rules, make it easier for them. I read everything out. What's up to Cunning Brutal Boss for 9 memberships? So just, if you liked it, leave a like. I'll be better making more content. Trust me, guys. We did this for last edition, made a difference. It'll make a difference this time. So keep supporting the Great Wall, and I'll keep doing my thing too. Arcane, damn, been 21 months. Keep up the Great Wall energy. Yeah, it's crazy. This channel's like 3 years old, roughly, maybe 2.5. So if we do good, maybe we can get to the 10K subs if we get enough good likes on this one. So thank you very much for that, Arcane, and all the crazy members and donations and everybody that was here. Hope you guys enjoy. Check out that after action report and all the stuff I did. Look out for Gaze of Mork, where I pick a unit and I highlight it, why I like it. But of course, I'm gonna have a bunch of free content because I love the Ork community, and my whole job here and duty is to expand the Ork community so that people can stay playing Ork players, endure the hard times, and thrive in the good times. So with that being said, leave a like, subscribe, let me know we did good. Always one thing to keep in mind is don't cross our wall, because we'll not get T-foul.